What's up, everybody? Happy 2023. We're excited about this episode. We've got our first returning guest, and also he was our first guest on the pod, Joey Hain, local Fort Wayne stand-up and all-around stud. You can find him on Instagram at JOWYHAIN, and we're going to talk about all kinds of awesome shit, and I'm actually going to be in this one too. Also, don't be shy out there. If you want to leave us a comment, any kind of question, negative feedback, positive feedback, we're on all the socials. We got our Facebook page, Instagram page, our YouTube. Just go ahead and hit us up on any of those, or you can hit us up on the Where's My Hat podcast at gmail.com email address. And all of those are Where's My Hat, by the way. They're like, I think if you search Where's My Hat, you'll find us. On Instagram, it's Where's My Hat _pod. Who knows? Maybe we'll feature you on an episode. You never know. So let's get into it.
Joey,
oh,
should
are we
get
recording?
This started?
Welcome back to the official Princess Diaries 2 Watchathon podcast.
We do need to do that.
This is your host, Joey Hain. I'm joined by my guest here, Stacey Lynn Stark.
Yeah.
Kristen. We're going to go with Marie Stewart.
Oh, that's so sweet.
What could it be?
So that's completely inaccurate, but that's sweet.
What's the middle name?
I don't remember.
Branden, do you know? Just test.
She doesn't have a middle name.
He doesn't even know my age.
She doesn't want me to...
He doesn't even know if I'm of legal age yet.
It's not true, but...
I didn't really know your age until I was listening to an episode of your podcast, and you were like talking about Jurassic Park, and you were like, yeah, I saw that in theaters, I was 19.
Yeah. So everyone can do the math on that one.
Yeah. I was shocked to hear.
Yeah, definitely. I look great for my age.
That's true.
So, oh yeah, welcome to Where's My Hat? I'm your host, Kay Banks. With us today is Joey Hain. I'm so excited. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back. Yeah, do you want to explain why I'm the first return guest and the first guest? I mean, that's an honor.
It's because you had the most listens,
charisma,
and we need more listens.
Charisma.
Oh, and our co-host here today, Stacey Stark. Also with us is our editor, Branden Eifred.
Hey.
To be honest, the reason why you're back, one of the reasons, is because it's a new year, new podcast.
Okay.
And you really just lighten the room up.
Do you mean it?
Yeah, definitely.
Branden?
I think she means it. Do I think so?
Do you
too?
agree?
Yeah, I would agree.
Stacey?
That you lighten the room up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And for the listeners, I just gave everyone a gentle kiss on the cheek before they answered, so there was some bias in there.
But I did close my eyes, so that's pretty.
Could have been anybody.
Could have been.
I'm never washing my face again.
Yeah. He, by the way, based on the taste on my lips right now, he hadn't washed it before.
Shh.
So, do you eat Chick-fil-A?
No.
Have you ever ate Chick-fil-A?
No.
Why not?
Because you know why.
Can you explain it?
Yeah, basically, and I heard a very misinformed conversation about this on this very podcast, but in 2014... there was a bill that was passed in Uganda, I believe, called...
Uganda?
Yeah, the country.
Okay. Uganda, be kidding.
The national language is Swahili. The major export... It is. I mean, there was a priest at my church growing up who was from Uganda.
Okay.
Father Ben, but... In 2014, there was a bill that was passed in Uganda that it was like the Kill the Gays bill, which like legalized capital punishment for the crime of homosexuality. And that bill, the people that wanted to advance that bill, they like, it was disclosed that the major donors to the politicians that were like mobilizing that bill were people that were funded by an American charity. I can't remember what it was called, but you can Google Chick-fil-A kill gay people. You'll find it. It's everywhere. Like it's just, it happened. And it was from a U.S. charity that whose like primary benefactor was Chick-fil-A. So it's like prior to 2014, if you were eating at Chick-fil-A, your dollar was directly going to mobilize a bill that was to kill gay people. They froze the bill in the Supreme Court there, but it did pass, but then they froze it. So they don't kill gay people in Uganda. But Chick-fil-A was like, dang it.
What if that's
So I don't eat there.
What if that's why their food tastes so good? Is because
Blood pact reasons, like
yeah,
satanic blood ritual.
yeah, same reason why like Michael Jackson's music is so good is because he, you know, is a pedophile. You know what I mean? Like,
You
it
think
just,
he was a
I
pedophile?
don't.
Did
think
you
that.
watch?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a documentary. I don't know if he is or not.
But
I'm gonna
have
be
you
honest.
watched it? Have any of you watched it in this
Which
room?
one?
Leaving Neverland.
Yeah. I haven't watched it, but I heard that Oprah said that he probably is a pedophile. And what does Oprah have to gain? You know?
That's true. I mean, there's a lot of people think. I mean, who knows, man? It sucks.
So wait. Before
I don't think that he. I want to talk about this. I do not think that he was. I think that that a lot of parents allow their kids to go there and hang out because it was meant for kids to go there and hang out. And after they did that, then they, had this whole thing of like, oh, he fucked my kid, and then they had their kid say that, even though like that's not what it was. It was because he didn't have like a real childhood. He had Peter Pan syndrome.
That's like that's kind of what I was thinking too. And then also, it's funny that all this comes out like after he's dead, and people, I feel like,
yeah, because you
he
don't
can't
have
defend
lawyers
himself. I don't know.
that will sue these people.
He can't.
So
They just want money. I think.
my only thing with this is the three of you that have not watched this documentary on HBO.
Yeah, we all haven't watched it.
Well,
We're like,
I haven't
Kristen,
seen it.
we're not sure about
But
that
also,
one.
but even if I watch it and it's like, it's still just a documentary that like somebody with a agenda put out.
People can say anything.
Yeah.
Very possible. I agree with all of you. I've seen documentaries that I'm like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. How could you say that? That
I'll
seems
watch
so
it.
far
You're
fetched.
right.
But please watch it. Please watch the mannerisms of these adults when they talk about these things, because
Actors.
I mean, if they are actors, they really do deserve awards. Watch the mothers when they talk about it, because oh my gosh,
Where is it streaming?
HBO Max.
You know what
I
it
have
is
that.
though? I just don't want to believe it because I love Michael Jackson's music so much.
You know,
And I don't want to be like, I just don't want to accept it if it did happen. But maybe, I mean, I don't know. Who knows, man?
I personally don't have like a stake in this game. I don't. I honestly believe that.
watch it. But here's
Okay.
what's really
Can I-
messed up about this situation. I've watched Leaving Neverland, and I started listening to Michael Jackson more.
Wow.
The
It's good
soundtrack
music.
of Leaving Neverland. Just the Thriller album.
Goddamn.
That was a mistake in retrospect, but it's a great album.
It was a great
It's
album.
undeniable.
They watch the documentary and they just have Michael Jackson songs in
Yeah.
their head. They're just like, damn, this is a
Like,
banger.
wow.
I was going to get back to the Chick-fil-A thing, though. I didn't know all that. I just,
didn't
what I
either.
did know is that he released some statement, which I don't know why he would even do this just business-wise. He said, like, it's against Christian, like, something about his Christian beliefs and how, like, it's wrong to be gay, basically. But he said it, like, publicly, and then everyone was like, what the fuck, man? And then, yeah. So, it's fine. It's picking up my mic.
The other
I think.
thing about Chick-fil-A is, and this is not as bad, but this is still like a horrible thing. Their commercials, they advertise the same product twice in a row.
Oh, yeah, that drives me nuts also.
It's like a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A like peppermint freaking vanilla milkshake is there's a piece of peppermint in it. And then immediately after, somebody else, and it cuts right back to the top of the pan that goes from the bottom of the milkshake to the top. We're seeing the same frame by frame by frame with just a different narration like we forgot. And it's like a little thing I like about the fucking peppermint vanilla milkshake is that there are, things in it that remind me of my childhood. And it's like, okay, it's a terrible advertisement.
Well, you said you've never had Chick-fil-A, just their regular chicken sandwich. You've never had it? Because it is like, honestly, I've had a lot of different chicken sandwiches. It's probably like top 5 easy.
I will say this. The Popeyes chicken sandwich, when that first came
That's
out,
fire too.
It beat Chick-fil-A, hands down.
The last couple times I had Popeyes, I did not enjoy it. The first couple times, I did enjoy it.
The first couple times, it was worth the line at the store, like for sure. I don't know about now. I haven't had it in a while, but I remember like going probably once a week just for their chicken sandwich.
I am confessing that when I was a child, Chick-fil-A just opened in Fort Wayne, and my cousin, who's like 20 years older than me and my siblings, she picked us up from the Boys and Girls Club and took us to see Shrek. It had just come out.
Nice.
Yeah. And no, you know what? It wasn't Shrek. It was Cat in the Hat with Michael Myers.
I was about to say, I feel like you're too young for Shrek.
I know. I was like, wasn't that 2000? And I was like, maybe it was Shrek 2. Doesn't matter.
I saw Shrek in theaters.
Anyway, we saw Cat in the Hat with Michael Myers. And then we went to Chick-fil-A because it had just opened. And we were all, my cousin included, who was adult. Like, we were kids, so it's like, we don't want new stuff. We're like, fuck this. But my cousin, who was, an adult, she was like, this is the worst food I've ever had in my life. We hated it.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's the only time I had Chick-fil-A.
Damn.
When Cat in the Hat came out. Great movie.
Did you hate eating it?
Yeah, I did. We all hated it.
Why? What was it like?
I remember it being like not quite right. Like it was chicken, but it like tasted like it was like bad chicken. Like it was like not good. Like it was like rotten or something in my mind.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I've heard that there's like a pickle taste to it, maybe.
Oh, well, yeah.
Right?
They marinate it in pickle juice.
Maybe it's that
like
vinegary
like a way
brine that I was that we were all picking up that we're like, get this out of here,
That's why people like it, though.
Yeah, we were kids, so we didn't want fucking pickle chicken strips, so sue us.
I'm not going to sue you. I don't care if you like that or not. I'm just saying, like, people do like that, so.
Good for them.
Okay.
Good for them.
So, my next question, I have 2 questions. One, would you like a water?
I'm set.
Okay.
This is great podcast content, though.
I tried.
We should call this, Where's My Water?
Yeah.
It's in the hat. My next question is...
Could I get a water?
No.
You can get your own water.
You know where it's at.
Where's my waitress? That's what it should be called.
Aw, poor Branden.
Yeah. Where's my third wave feminism? That's what it should be called.
Where were you January 6th, 2020?
I was at the U.S. Capitol. No. I don't know. Home, probably.
You were home?
Probably.
Do you remember finding out about it?
It was a Tuesday. Which, by the way, I want to point this out. Nothing good happens on a Tuesday. Like, Tuesdays are my least favorite day of the week. 9/11 happened on a Tuesday.
Really?
January 6th happened on a Tuesday. It did.
Were you born on Tuesday?
I was born on a Wednesday.
Burn. How do you know that you were born on a Wednesday?
Did you check that out?
My mama told me.
Have you guys heard the song Club Going Up on a Tuesday?
Yes.
That's something that's happened on a Tuesday.
And that song's kind of like they're like, yeah, we're doing this and it's Tuesday. Like,
Yeah.
we don't even care.
It's a great thing.
Tuesdays at Tiffany's?
It's
What?
breakfast at Tiffany's, right?
Oh, my bad.
Is that what you're talking about?
Wrong name.
Anyway, I don't really have any comments about the Jan 6 riot. Why? It sounds like you're itching to get something off your back.
It's just a topic that she likes to ask.
I just
about
want
for
to
some
know.
reason.
Yeah.
I just want
Really?
to know, like, is it a showstopper situation? Like, we all know what happened or where we were at for 9/11. Do we all know where we were at when we heard
I was
about?
too young.
Oh yeah.
How old are you?
26.
We talked about this last time.
26. So you're 3 years younger than me.
Okay.
So you would have been maybe like 5-ish.
It was 2001. So I was 4.
Okay.
I was born in 96 in November. So I was 4. It was going to be 5 in November. I was in preschool.
So you don't remember?
Baby
No.
Joey.
Yeah, cute, precious, sweet baby Joey.
No one told you about it?
They probably told me. I was like, you don't care. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to keep it pumping.
Yeah, because when I heard about it, I was like at that age where I was starting to like really get into politics.
Yeah,
you know?
you were turning into a little pundit.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember like being like 8 and being like, what? World Trade Center? What, how, what, why?
That's
What's
just how I
being
learned that
traded there?
existed.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
You know, because of course we knew about 9/11 World Trade Center. I'm like, what is that? And then there's like nine or 11 buildings that make up the World Trade Center, or like 13 or something. They're like building 13 or whatever. Why are there so many buildings? I don't know anything about it. And then the Pentagon is how close to New York that could be like an organized effort. I don't understand.
Where is the
anything about it.
Pentagon?
Who knows?
DC.
That's what I thought.
Which
But-
it's
I don't
not
know.
super far away, especially if you're in an airplane. Like, but I don't know. Yeah.
It's so it's like on top of me being 4 at the time, the context of it is just confusing in and of itself. Like someone flew a plane into a building. To me, that's like not a very efficient way to like blow up a building.
You were
Yeah.
putting planes into buildings just at home with your toys at that
I
point.
didn't have toy planes.
You didn't have to. It's probably because of 9/11. To be honest.
Could be.
What did you play with as a child?
I played with obviously dolls.
That's what I was wondering.
And well, no, I played with a lot of like toy like animals, like and stuffed animals and Pokemon stuff. I had a lot of Pokemon stuff. All my cousins were into Pokemon. I have 20 cousins, so that was a lot of influences on me to be into it. And
Dude, Dude, Pokemon, me and my brother were looking at our old cards. We were at our parents' house for Christmas, and like some of those cards are worth like hundreds of dollars.
yeah,
I'm so mad.
It's pretty crazy.
All my cards were given away.
Talking first generation stuff, second generation, like the ones that came out in like 2000, 2001, like the booster packs. We used to buy them at this local card store in Plymouth, and like, yeah, we have like hundreds of Pokemon cards.
we only got booster packs, and we got them all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were my brother's 2 years younger than me. When we were like 12 and 10, which is like kind of the perfect time. That's like the marketing age, like demographic for Pokemon cards. My dad was like, yeah, we're having a garage sale and we're going to sell each and every one of your Pokemon cards. We had a ton.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah. And he was like, but you're going to get the money, you know? And if I'm 12, that would have been like 2008. So like the Pokemon cards that I had from, you know, my older cousins that I had inherited or like other things like that, they surely could have been purchased at like something that a 12-year-old could have like taken to the store, or like a dollar amount that I would have enjoyed, you know?
Yeah.
But then some kid came to this garage sale and my dad gave him all of our Pokemon cards. He was literally my brother's age.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's not like we were like too young. And I don't know, that just like drives me crazy.
Why
I don't know.
why was your dad so dead set on doing that? Did you not tell him that you wanted to like keep them?
We
or-
did, but he was like just like that. That's just how he was.
Is it because you're gay?
No, that was not why he would have gotten rid of my Pokemon cards, which are totally mask,
that's why my dad got rid of all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
because they seemed gay.
A little bit.
You
No,
just had all the Harpy cards. You're like, they're sexy girls.
all my blue-eyed white dragons cards were all gone. It was terrible.
Did he get rid
Blue-eyed
of all
red-
your cards?
No, all my cards were given. My brother traded them for Magic cards. So all my Pokemon cards, all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Your brother stole them and traded them for Magic cards, which is a not good game.
Those are worth a lot of money, though, too, actually.
Magic,
yeah. Like, those are the three. Like, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic are all, like, collectors. They have some cards that are worth a lot.
Let's bring back Digimon.
Oh, I remember that.
I loved it.
I had a couple Digimon cards.
I didn't have that many, but I had like a couple packs of those.
I had a couple individual cards, and I think that it was part of a Burger King toy.
It most
Okay.
likely
I had
was.
those
I remember, yeah.
Do you remember? You're probably too young. Do you remember when Burger King would sell Pokemon balls? Like they wouldn't sell them; it would be part of their toy. Like they would have the gold Pokemon ball and like the silver Pokemon ball.
I don't really remember. I mean, I'm sure they did some kind of Pokemon promotion, though. I'm sure they but I don't remember exactly what they looked like.
Oh, well, these were amazing, and then they'd have like Psyduck, they'd have Pikachu, they had Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl. I'm sorry, I'm so out of the Pokemon game.
Not Wayne's World.
I've been playing the new one, Violet, and she like just couldn't be less interested.
Dude, I tried watching like the original I watched every Saturday. I'd watch Pokemon, I'd watch Batman Beyond, I'd watch Yu-Gi-Oh.
Those are all solid.
Oh my goodness, I loved it every day at WB on Saturday mornings. And I tried watching Pokemon the original one recently. It's hard to
It's
watch.
good for children. I mean, it's definitely like it's technically an anime, but it's definitely like a kid's. Kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh is too, though. If you could watch Yu-Gi-Oh, I can't believe you couldn't get into Pokemon.
Pokemon, the TV show, does a good job at setting up like the world of the Kanto region, though, which is like if you're a kid and you have like any kind of like red, blue, green game,
right?
Then
brings it to life for you a little bit.
Because it'd be fun to watch,
especially back then, because the game was like your 8-bit Game Boy Color game.
Yeah.
So you'd have regular Game Boy, I think. So you'd have like you're like, oh shit, this is like if it were real.
Did you have a Game Boy?
I did, yeah. I had a Game Boy Advance. It was like a Nintendo Red, which is almost pink.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's like the tall one. Or maybe it was called a Game Boy Color.
It was
Wait,
a color
which was
if
this?
it was vertical. It was horizontal, it was Advance.
My sisters had an Advance, and that was because they're older than me. And then I had a Game Boy Color, and it was vertical. Then I had a Game Boy SP, and it was silver.
The SP was sweet. I remember that. Because that one had the backlit screen, so you wouldn't have to... The other ones you had to use like a warm light. You remember those things that like attach on? And this is like this crappy little light that was like had a big glare on your screen.
It was like a Kindle.
It was... Yeah. Just this weird thing hanging off your Game Boy. Yeah.
I remember my parents would give me my Game Boy Color to play because I was obnoxious in car rides. And like I would be able to play it all the time, like on my way to my grandparents' house. But on the way home, I'd have to like pause it until the next street light came on in order to be able to play it because it was so dark all the time.
Yeah.
Stacey?
Yes.
Did you have a Game Boy?
Okay. I actually was just telling Lynette about this earlier today. When it was my birthday. One time when I was a kid, and it was like while my grandparents were divorced, and my grandma asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I had no idea, so I said I didn't know. And then she was like, well, what did your friends get for their birthdays? And I told her that my friend Ayla got a Game Boy. And so then she relayed that information to my grandpa. And then he bought me a Game Boy, which I did not want. I was just an autistic child answering a question.
Keeping it real.
What did my friend get for their birthday? A Game Boy. That does not mean that I want a Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
No interest. Like, while you guys were talking right now,
You're
like,
zoning
I was
out.
just like,
We're
I'm
gonna
not
cut
a part
that.
of this.
Yeah.
We're going to cut that.
Hard reset.
So... I took the Game Boy that my grandpa bought me for my birthday, and I returned it, and I bought a bike.
Wow, that's kind of sweet. That's really
That's actually, yeah. That's
in the
actually
spirit
cool.
of Pokemon, you know? Turning in the electronic for a bike.
Yeah.
So you can explore and collect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I
the bike
collected
music
a lot of
starts
things.
playing.
Yeah.
Like, and you
Yeah, I know it.
It gets ingrained in your brain when you play those games. It's awesome. They had good music. They
Very
still do.
good.
The new one has awesome music. So I'll stop talking about Pokemon. Sorry.
Okay,
but
we're
No,
gonna
you guys
it's just what I've been
Really?
doing lately.
We're gonna start the podcast right here. Let's turn on Princess Diaries too. Royal Engagement.
We're gonna watch it.
Did you
And we're
guys-
gonna comment on it.
Yeah, and here's a big piece of commentary we're gonna get to. The song "Breakaway" by Kelly Clarkson was written for Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement. It's a great song, right?
The song was written by Avril Lavigne.
Written by Avril Lavigne, and in the original lyric, she said, "Grew up in a small town." Kelly says, "And when the rain would fall down, I'd just stare out my window." Avril says, "And when the snow would come down,
Oh, really?
She is
I would stare out
Canadian.
my window." She's Canadian.
Her name's Avril. That's so crazy to me. I've never heard of that name in my
It's
life.
French for April,
Okay. I
and Lavigne is French
I'm not
for
saying
wine.
it's a bad name. It's just it's very unique.
Yeah.
Avril.
and her
Is
middle
unique
name is
the French
Ramona.
word?
I forgot. You're like diehard. Didn't you say
Love
that?
Avril.
I love Avril
Is that
Lavigne.
the conspiracy thing?
Is it
Melissa?
because of it?
No. Is that I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you ever really talked about that?
No,
On a
I've
podcast?
I've been taking my time learning about it.
About
'Cause I'm
Melissa?
curious.
Yeah.
A lot of people know about that. I guess I don't know anything about it.
I actually cracked it. I figured it out.
Oh yeah.
She is not dead. She is not Melissa. She is Avril.
She's just kawaii now.
She has
That's all it is.
the same teeth. Melissa and Avril have the same teeth.
Yeah, but George Washington had dentures made out of the teeth of slaves. So you don't think Melissa could have teeth made out of the dentures made out of the teeth of Avril?
Or with dental technology, they could take like an impression of Avril's mouth and like make fake teeth that look exactly.
They could.
But are people really that smart that they would go out of their way to change Melissa's teeth?
You're right. They
know.
lazily made the clone. They were like, whatever, Melissa, this is good enough.
It's the
No
same
one will know.
person.
Real fast. I just found a conspiracy that Taylor Swift has a clone. And it's the originators of Satanism's daughter that's really Taylor Swift now.
Who?
That's sick.
Aleister Crowley?
Yes.
That's metal.
Is that?
Explains the lyrics.
Do you have any proof? or-
I don't have any proof.
Okay.
It's
That's the
just
thing
it's
about-
been on
Well,
TikTok.
dude, it's like anyone famous enough. Like Elvis is still alive on an island. Well,
Yeah,
now
with
he would
Tupac.
definitely have been dead from old age at this point, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tupac, he's not dead. You know what I mean? Anyone who's like a big enough figure, there's always like I feel like even Gucci Mane when he went to prison, like when he came out, he was like kind of jacked. And he sounded different because he wasn't on a bunch of drugs and smoking weed all the time. So people think he was a clone too, or he is a clone now.
A bad clone.
Yeah, or I
A
don't know.
more jacked, crisper voice clone.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's like a common, theory that people get.
I would love to have a clone.
Would you?
Of yourself?
Yeah.
What would you do with it?
We would just sister about and, do half the homework we would normally do and stuff like that.
Oh, so you guys would only one of you would go to class at a time?
Yeah.
So you'd both be the same person, like as far as the school is concerned.
Yes. And in
You'd
this
share
scenario,
a degree. You'd share a degree. Like when you're done, you have to like borrow it or make a
That's
copy.
right.
I guess you can just make a copy.
that's
Wasn't
right.
there a Disney Channel movie about that, but then like the clone melted in the end?
Well, that's not too bad if
The
we
Olsen
already
twins?
have the doctorate.
Well, I don't know that they had a doctorate. They were a child. They were like in middle school.
So there's Disney Channel footage of a child melting to death.
I don't remember it exactly. I just remember that was like an issue that the clone had was a melting issue. I don't remember if he actually
That's a
melted or not.
common, clone issue. For sure, is melting. That is true. Do you want a clone?
I'm not that great. There does not need to be two of me.
Kay Banks, clone.
yeah.
Would you have sex with your clone?
I would.
Okay, good stuff. Branden, clone.
Yeah, I think I had this idea before for a metal band of all clones of me.
Good.
And like at the end of each show, we all fight to the death, and then whichever one survives, they make the new clones out of the surviving one.
What if the one of the clone comes out so strong but so stupid because of the like just law of opposites, and then that one obviously is going to win the fight and not know how to clone.
And then like the clones will keep getting dumber because like that one's
Yeah.
gonna keep.
Natural
I don't know that. Then that's what
selection.
happens. But I mean, you would pay money to see that, right?
I would. Would you guys have sex, you and your clones?
I don't know.
No.
Would you have sex with your clone?
No.
I don't
Why
think.
not?
Yeah,
But my
it'd just
clone
be
and
weird to like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to be like.
It's masturbating.
Yeah, that's true. It's just masturbating.
If I did have a clone, that is the one thing that I would ask myself.
You would be like, clone! Get out of... Well,
I would
before
like
you
it's
leave.
the one thing that I would be the most curious about. Whether or not I would do it, I don't know.
You would be thinking about having sex with your clone nonstop, though,
Well, your clone would also be thinking that too, though.
since you're clones.
So you're both like
So
have an awkward sexual tension with you and your clone. You're just like,
so then we would probably just be
Who's
like,
gonna
well, we
ask?
should probably just try it.
yeah, it would happen,
probably-
right?
You
That's
guys
probably what
should
would
probably try it.
I don't see why you wouldn't. Like, really. Here's what I think is really messed up about the situation I just thought is I would have sex with my clone. One of us would be Kay Banks. The other one would be Kristen Stewart.
That's true. My clone and I would
Huh.
have sex with the same people.
At the same time?
No way.
That would be crazy, actually, though.
That could be kind of hot.
Yeah,
For
That-
for the other
Well,
person, not for me and my clone. Me
that's
and my clone would be
true.
like, we're just doing our job here.
And then, I mean, that's like basically for them, it's like twins or something. They're like, oh, I have
Which
sex
is
with
like,
twins.
is that hot or is that weird? Because it's like, I don't want
That's
to talk
weird.
about mom, quote unquote. Like, I don't want to
Right.
hear about your aunt. Like, you guys have too many people in common for me to relate.
It would be weird, and just knowing that they're related
Would
and they're
be
doing,
gross.
it'd be kind of yeah.
I'd be like, are you guys into this?
Yeah.
That
I
means
mean, you
I
could
should
probably
be
make a lot of money doing porn.
as clones. Yeah. You'd be surprised.
Or
You'd
you
be
could make
surprised.
double the you just make double the money. I mean,
or half the money because
Oh,
Share with your
damn.
clone.
you
like-
have to support. Yeah, you have like two mouths to feed. All of a
hashtag clone rights.
sudden. That would
Um,
be a thing for sure. If like clones were something that anybody could get, there'd be a whole,
What,
there'd be like protests and everything else.
what about a sex doll that looks just like you? Would you pimp that sex doll out, or would you just have it at home?
I would like leave it dressed up at a Starbucks and like take pictures of it and like leak those pics. I don't know.
That'd be fun.
Would you have sex with Branden's clone or Stacey's clone? Since not to put you on the spot, I think the
how would
podcast
you-
is aware.
So she knows that they're the clone.
Yeah, they have a
Like
little
they're-
like tattoo on their forehead. Yeah,
like a
a little
barcode.
barcode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a complicated question. So that would need some context. Like, for instance, would the original copy be okay with me having sex with the clone?
I'm not them.
Would the original
Let's
copy...
just assume that like they don't know or they are fine with it. But the situation is,
Let's assume they don't know.
yeah,
They don't
And
know.
that the clone is just not a snitch.
and they'll never find out, and you'll never. They're like, don't worry about consequences.
Yeah.
Just like, would you actually do it? Though?
Because, by the way, the clone is terrified that at any moment Stacey or Branden will throw water on them and melt them.
Those are the old clones. They didn't work all the kinks out yet. It was
Yeah.
beta
So they
version.
would never tell. They would never do anything to upset those two. Would you guys have a three-way? Clone three-way?
And does that count as cheating?
Yeah. Because it's them.
Does it count as cheating?
It's literally the same body.
It's literally the exact same DNA. I really would have a hard time doing that without the consent of the original copy, and I would have a hard time, like, if the barcode's on the forehead, it's really distracting. I don't know if I could really
Put a little
get into
makeup
that.
and
Yeah.
you can get rid of that. It's not-
Bangs.
Bangs.
They have
They could-
bangs.
They could wear a hat or something. like-
Yeah.
I could wear a hat.
They keep saying,
That's
where's
not
my
distracting.
hat? So it's a no. Sounds like a no.
It would be difficult. It's not that it's impossible, not that I wouldn't be open to it,
Mm-hmm.
just a very unlikely.
Okay. Let's, Branden.
I mean, I think, like, okay, let's say you're married to someone and then you find out it's like they cheated, but it was with your clone. You're like, oh, well, they must still like me because it's, you're having sex with me, basically.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would.
You'd be cool with it.
Yeah.
Except then you find out your clone has abs.
Damn, that would be funny. I'd
Your
be like,
clone
well,
is your clone's been working out because you've been at the office.
yeah, I've been doing all the. Should be the opposite. I should be the one with the abs, and then he should be the one.
Yeah, but he wants to work out because he's like, he's bored.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'd guess I'd be like high five.
You'd high five him.
Yeah.
What about you and your consent? Like, how would you feel about dating someone and they found out they have a clone, and the next thing you know, that clone is putting advances on you? Would you sleep with that?
I'd be
clone?
like, clone. I'm telling. Because you know what? Identical twins have the same DNA too.
Right.
So in that scenario, I'd be like, twin, you know why? And then what if twin was like, actually, I'm the real Jeremy,
Right.
Like I just was like doing that as like a funny joke, but I also like to role play as my brother because he was like the quarterback. And then I'd be like, fine.
And then you could at least say that you were tricked into it if it turns out.
Because then after he'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm the fake Jeremy. I have a
Gotcha.
football tattoo, dumbass. I was the quarterback.
Yeah.
It was dark. You don't know. You could go with that. I mean, I guess
Do twins have the same DNA?
They do.
The
Have
exact
Identical
same?
twins do. Yeah,
Because there's
it's-
identical twins that like don't look exact, like they look the same. I know there's fraternal twins and identical twins,
Yeah.
but like even identical twins, sometimes they don't look the same.
Identical twins, it's when an embryo, one egg is fertilized by one sperm, so it's coded the exact same way, and then that embryo splits.
So is it like it's nature versus nurture thing? Like maybe one of the twins
Yeah.
grew up. Because I think it was one twin was really fat and one was like skinny. I think that was all it was. So they didn't look alike, but because they weren't born in the same house, like they were split at birth. So they
that's
had
very
different
interesting.
upbringings. Yeah.
Well, and then life will wither them in different ways too. Like for instance, there is a case where somebody was murdering somebody, and their identical twin was the prime suspect, but they found out it wasn't the identical twin because there was a scar on the fingerprints. So they found out that it was
Your fingerprints are different.
as
See, so
twins.
wouldn't that be
Yeah.
I
DNA
thought they
though?
were the
Isn't that?
same.
Identical twins have different fingerprints.
See, that's what I mean. They have like slight different. I mean, their DNA is almost 100%, but I bet it's like they're still. I don't even know, man. I have no idea. But
Here's a question: are Tegan and Sarah identical twins?
Yeah, good
I
question.
thought they were, weren't they?
I don't know.
I know the Olsen twins are fraternal.
They're-
Tia and Tamara
What?
are identical.
How are the Olsen twins fraternal?
are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought they were identical.
No, they're fraternal.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not.
That's crazy.
Do you guys know the Mary-Kate and Ashley quote where Mary-Kate or Ashley, I can't remember which one, says the difference between, let's say it was Mary-Kate who said it. She would have said, the difference between Ashley and I is that I think that the opposite of fire is water, and Ashley thinks the opposite of fire is no fire.
That's really.
Have you heard that quote?
No.
I have a tweet that says, the difference between you and I is that I think the opposite of Mary Kate is Ashley, and you think the opposite of Mary Kate is no Mary Kate.
I really thought it
That
was
is
going to
really
go
funny.
like the
That's for
opposite of
fans.
fire is water and the opposite of water is fire or something, but no, it just goes the
Yeah,
opposite
that's
of
what I-
fire
It's
is
all
no
Mary
fire.
Kate and Ashley.
That's great.
Yeah, well, and it's actually true because, like, maybe I agree that the opposite of fire is no fire.
I do kind of.
You
agree
know?
I mean,
with that,
I mean, yeah, it's
'Cause water's
opposite,
just,
right?
Like a different thing.
Yeah, it's just got its own thing going on, for sure.
Yeah. And whereas like Mary Kate and Ashley are two different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got their own thing.
Yeah, she was actually really deep when she said that.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's, like, genius.
That's
Yeah,
really
it's
smart.
actually kind of cool.
Like it sounds like really dumb, but it's not.
It's, like, hilarious, but also, like, profound.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's like a stoner conversation you would have. Like, yeah, man.
100%. That's why I think Mary Kate said it.
Yeah.
Do Do you think Mary Kate is better than Ashley?
No, Mary Kate's the one who like had problems with drugs.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's kind of enlightened. So, hardest drug you've ever done, Stacey Stark?
Okay. Well, I did drop acid one time, but I think probably when I took like 18 Benadryl, that was probably the hardest.
That was
drug I've
really?
ever
Was that like a heavier trip?
Yeah. Like I was in an oil painting driving.
Whoa.
But I was laying in my bed in real life.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you had a dream.
No, I didn't have a dream. I was awake.
That's horrible.
You took 18 Benadryl?
Yeah, for fun.
For fun?
For fun.
Wow, and it sounds like it was kind of fun.
It was, but then I got really sick and I threw it all up, and the next day I had like a twitch in my brain all day.
Jeez.
So when you took that Benadryl, did you feel like extremely heavy when it first came on? Like you couldn't like move your body?
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I was with my my girlfriend at the time, Harmony, and we just laid in my bed.
Did you guys do stuff?
No. We just laid there.
This
can't.
story
We couldn't
sucks.
No, we couldn't do it. But like we were both tripping balls. Like we didn't realize we were laying there. We were somewhere else in our brains.
It's terrible.
And like she would like be talking to other people.
Oh, that's like a nightmare experience to me. Okay.
It was kind of, but mostly just because it was really painful.
Yeah.
If it wasn't so painful, it would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least you got the inflammation down.
Like threw it up.
Yeah, that's what Benadryl does, you know.
Oh.
One of the
Sorry, I didn't
positive
know.
side effects.
I'll probably never take Benadryl again. I'm probably allergic to it now.
Yeah. I love Benadryl. Okay, Banks, hardest drug you've ever done?
Hardest drug that I've ever
I'm
done?
trying to get this roast to cooking.
I've smoked weed.
That's
Okay.
it. Laced
Uh,
with crack.
I've done some stuff. Like I've done different drugs. I would say acid. I've done quite a bit of acid. That's a fun little experience. I recommend doing it outdoors if you do it.
Oh, I did it indoors. It was awful.
Acid? You've done acid before?
There was a tapestry of a tiger, and the people that I was with, they were watching Vampire Diaries.
This is good.
So it was
Very
really
gay story.
It was really
Very
scary.
lesbian.
Well, it was
narrative.
a gay couple. They were gay men that I was with, and it was really scary. It was really scary. I thought they were both chipmunks.
The guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nuts in their mouths.
One time I did mushrooms, and I was in high school, and I was in foster care at the time, and I was tripping balls, and then the babysitter that was there, which the wizard they call it, which basically is the sober person and just rides you through it. She was getting bored, so she was like, "Everybody, cops!" There was no cops, so we all ended up going home, and I went to a home that it wasn't mine. It was with the wizard that I was referring to, and I get there and I'm tripping balls. I'm having a panic attack. I don't know what to do, what's going on, and everybody that's in this home knows that there's something going on with me. So the person I'm referring to told that her mom that I was just having a panic attack and that there's nothing to worry. She's just going to get through it. So this mom sat me down at the kitchen, and there's like stuff moving around behind her. You know, like that 70s show.
Mm-hmm. The first
scene.
episode, yeah.
Yeah, it was just
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. And so like I'm trying to focus on what she's saying.
That's
she's
hilarious.
she's trying to have a serious conversation. She's like, "Kristen, I know what it's like to have a panic attack." And here I am just like looking at fucking dragons and the fucking the walls and shit, just trying to like focus on her, but her face is like melting and shit. And I am having a panic attack at this point because I'm in an enclosed space with this woman trying to have a serious conversation with me. And she's like, "Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you some Xanax to help you calm down.
Good stuff.
You're right. So here I am, 16 on mushrooms, tripping balls. She gives me a Xanax. And I'm having, at this point, the best time of my life once the Xanax kicks in. Granted, I go in my room and like shit's moving under my covers. The creases in the walls, like the corners and stuff, are literally melding together. And I'm just like, yeah, this makes sense. And like I try to take a shower and like the water just feels weird and everything else. The walls become shiny and like are winking at me and shit. And I'm just like, yeah, this is all right.
So when you like you guys like decided, oh, we're gonna trip on mushrooms or whatever, you had a spirit guide in place that was also like a teen girl.
Yeah, pretty much. She was our babysitter basically. So like in case
you were
we all
16 and she was just like basically like your guys' like supervisor, like your chaperone.
Right, because she didn't want to do it.
Oh, okay. And she was like your age.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's actually a year younger than all of us.
Oh, okay.
What?
And she was just like a rude little bitch who like
Yeah, what a
told you guys
fucking
cops are on the way.
selfish person. Yeah, definitely.
Did it open your eyes? Because it's supposed to reset like the synapses in your brain. Mushrooms.
No, not at that occurrence.
I've never done it. Well, and also it's like, were you too young for that effect to be that palpable to you? You know, like how well trodden were your thoughts and ideas at that point? You know,
I was pretty politically adverse, and I've done a lot less drugs at that point, so I was a little bit more well versed in my opinions and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have troubles with it because it's really hard to let go of things, and I only did a smaller amount. There's something called the hero's dose,
Mm-hmm.
which is what's really supposed to give you like that eye-opening experience.
Ego death.
Yes. And I didn't take that. I didn't have that situation occur for me until I took acid and I was at a festival.
What festival?
It was a Badfish Festival in Ohio.
What's Bad Fish?
It's just a Sublime cover band.
They have a festival?
They had a festival. It was actually really cool.
That sounds kind of sweet.
It was a 3-day camping trip, and we were all on drugs. Everybody there was on drugs, and we were all just like, we all treated it like it was a holiday.
Yeah.
And we all like took care of each other, supported each other. If someone was hungry, we'd give them food.
This was like a commune.
Kind of, for 3 days with music. It was awesome.
Communes have music, so it wasn't like a commune with music. It was a commune.
I don't know much about communes, to be
love
honest.
to join one. Branden,
Oh man,
hardest drug.
That's tough because I've really tried. Like I've never done. It's easier to like say that out of like the main drugs. I know there's like obviously like thousands of drugs out there.
But this we're talking
about
playing
just
the
the
hits.
classics. Yeah, yeah. Like I've never tried PCP or like GHB.
Okay.
But I've done it all pretty much, like acid, shrooms quite a bit. I've done shrooms a lot of times. I've done acid like 4 or 5 times. Shrooms definitely, like, you can get to that point like that you're talking about. I think it depends on like your mindset going into it. If you're with a bunch of people, it depends on your like environment too, and what you're like trying to get out of it beforehand. I think.
What's that?
But
sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt.
I'm reading your mind. DMT.
No, what's that ailment or what's that prognosis where you have one sense and the other sense takes over for it? Beethoven had it where he could like see sounds, or you can like
synesthesia.
Synesthesia is very common when you are tripping on mushrooms.
Makes sense.
But anyway, sorry to interrupt, Branden.
Oh, it's all right. No, I mean, I've tried like Percocets and pain pills and stuff, Vicodin. I've never injected anything, and that's something I just don't want to ever do.
Even though you're from Anderson.
And I've never, like, I'm not scared of needles either, because I've donated plasma a bunch and stuff like that, but I just wouldn't, I don't know. I just know I have like a cousin that overdosed on heroin, and I have another friend that like was really bad off on that stuff, and like I don't even talk to him anymore really. But I've snorted heroin though.
What?
Like, yeah, like the powder, you can just snort it or eat it. Like
Didn't know that until now.
Yeah, yeah, this is a little remember Dare?
Yes.
That's like I'm like your Dare officer right now.
Yeah.
Telling
You could snort it. You could lick it.
They tell kids about shit like that you didn't even know, and then you're like now you're aware of these drugs. That's why I don't think they really do that anymore. But I've tried. Like there was in my old apartment there was this one guy I used to work with at Brunswick actually, who like would bring cocaine over there and stuff. So I've done that a few times. Only that's like a few times. So, but I used to smoke weed like every single day and shit. And yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like pretty much all the like the hardest thing I would say would be like just heroin, like snorting that.
I totally agree. I'm gonna put
cocaine is just like your typical hard drug too. It's pretty. So like everything, like I don't really think psychedelics count as a hard drug, but
I almost feel like cocaine is like way too accessible to even count as a hard drug at this point.
And it's not as like, it's still bad, but I feel like heroin's definitely like as far as fucking your whole life up and
I was gonna say
trying to function. Like at least on cocaine, you can still like.
Coke sounds like a life ruiner. Yeah, you can still like run a successful company in the 80s.
Right.
Right. Like I was gonna say, like I've done cocaine maybe like 2 or 3 times, and it's not like it's not like a psychedelic as far as I'm aware. Like it's a
stimulant.
Like it would like just make me feel like I maybe drank some coffee, but then like I also felt kind of like really shitty the next day.
Sounds
and
horrible.
I've never done crack either.
Good.
I don't. That's one thing I don't want to try. Like, yeah.
Anyone that if I was
back
into
then, though.
crack and someone who's like snorting heroin left and right said like they would never do crack, I would be a little bit offended.
Right? You're like, what? What's wrong with my drug?
Okay.
What about you, Joey?
Yeah, I've never done hard drugs or anything. I've smoked weed and I don't really like it. So
I get that.
That's why I have
get
to
anxious.
Yeah, I get very just depressed basically when I'm high.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy that.
You know what
really
though?
Paranoid.
I think alcohol is as far as like a lot of different drugs go, alcohol is actually a pretty hard drug if you think about it. It's just that it's widely accepted.
Yeah. Basically like if I like ingest too much THC, I will like totally disassociate and feel like I'm like not alive and like I'm in purgatory and like I'm like in a loop of time that keeps repeating over and over again. And since I experienced that, I can get to that state now if I drink too much where I totally disassociate and I feel like I'm in a loop of time. So now that happens to me if I drink too much. So I don't really drink that much either. I like to like have like a drink, and it affects me really fast too. So
have you ever tried like edibles, like before you go to bed or something, like take some edibles and then like if you're by yourself in like a comfort, because you're not alone. I think a lot of people like feel like that about weed.
The best experiences I've ever had under the influence is if I've done like a little bit of an edible and then I'll go out to like a restaurant with my friends and they also like we were all on the same wavelength. I think that's probably a big part of it for me too, is being on the same wavelength and being with people who are affected in a similar way as I am. So we're on the same page. And then they are the type of people who constantly check in and they're like, whoa, I'm feeling like this right now. And I feel like that probably helps me too and keeps it a little bit more present. Because part of anytime that I've had like a bout of depression, like it's hard to pull out of that place where you don't feel present at all. And I feel like that's like a super amplified feeling that I'm having if I'm too high or too drunk, is there's no present moment for me. And they're always like checking in. And it's when I've done an edible. It's never been when I vaped or smoked. And anytime I vape or smoke, or if I hit a bong or something, it's too hard, too fast. I like dabbed one time at like a house of these two guys I had just met. And it was literally the worst experience of my life. I thought I was going to die. It was actually in Delphi where those two little girls got murdered. That,
Abby and Libby.
yeah. So it's like, you kind of like get the picture that like I was at a seedy place literally and it's not because they were seedy people. Like it was just like, they were just like poor-ish, I guess. They were just like young gay guys. So, and it was just horrible. It was the worst thing because it was just like, only time I've ever had a good experience is ingesting it via an edible in a small amount.
Dabs are intense too. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Dabs are a lot. I agree with you. Like, I don't really like. There's a very small window of ingesting marijuana where I feel comfortable. Like, it's like I feel at ease at where I'm at to everything sucks. I can't handle this. I don't even know how to handle the situation right now.
And it's so dumb too because it's like I'm literally only ever doing it socially, and it's like, is it to fit in? Whatever. No, not really. am trying to like loosen up, like have a good time, whatever, do what everybody else is doing, and like doing something to fit in is like fun also, you know. I don't know, I kind of like, it's like everybody's roller skating. Oh, I guess I will. Like, yeah. It'll be fun.
It's like a group activity.
Exactly.
It brings people together.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was in Lafayette one time. Well, what I was saying about that is like, I'm at this exact same level, high or drunk. It's the same exact feeling for me, being barely high or barely drunk. Like, I want to go to a wine tasting. Like, that's as drunk as I want to get. You know? Like, I want there to be like cheese and crackers really close by. Like, that's as bad as I want it to get. But I was in Lafayette. I went to Purdue, and I met this guy. His name was Ryan. And I went to his house. He owned a home in Lafayette. He was 27. I was 19. And he owned a home. It was like a historical home in Lafayette. Like, it was an old one. Like, it was built in the early 1900s. And he was fixing it up. I thought that was really cool and hot. And we were hanging out, but I didn't know. I thought it was just going to be me and him. I go into his house, and there's some guy there. And I was like, hi. And I was 19. Like, I was like not a confident person. Like, I was I was a teenager, and I was like in college. I was very alone at that time. And he was like, this is my friend. And I was like, okay, what's his name? And he was like, Ryan. I was like, no, because I felt like what are the chances that they're both named Ryan? I was like, these are both fake names. They have one fake name that they're rotating. Like, that's not cool. I totally thought I was going to die. Then he said, do you want to like hit this bong? And I was like, most definitely. Because like, I wanted to fit in. And the longer I was there, the more paranoid I got. Mm-hmm. It was so scary. I knew that they were going to kill me.
Did they?
And then Hot Ryan, not Ugly Ryan, who was his friend, Hot Ryan, who was fixing up a house, was like, I'm going to turn a movie on. And this was when I was 19. So that was 7 years ago. So Moana had just come out. He turned on Moana. I didn't want to watch it.
Right.
And I was like, ugh, this movie sucks. And I was sitting there and my mouth was getting very, very dry. And then his friend finally left. And then I tried to suck his dick. Then we went to bed. Long story short, I thought I was going to die. That's the end of the story.
Wait, you tried to suck his dick?
Yeah, it was not working.
How?
For either of us.
Why?
A highness.
Because you're both too high.
Oh.
Dry mouth.
Oh.
Etc.
Sure.
Okay.
Being, young.
Real fast. Do we want to take a break?
Yes. Very much.
It's been an hour.
Yeah, I need a break.
Okay, let's cut all of that.
2, 3. And we're back.
Welcome back to the Where's My Hat podcast. This is the beginning of the episode. We have cut everything before this. It was a nightmare.
A beautiful nightmare.
What do you mean we?
I
do you know? Have you
episode.
listened to our episodes?
I don't cut
we don't
anything.
have an editor.
Joey, have
I edit
it.
a lot, to be honest with you, but I think podcasts are better when they're not over edited at the same time. But I know what you're saying. We could cut that whole first half out.
I
don't think we should. I think it was really good, actually.
I'm going to cut and paste this whole thing together like a ransom note. It's just going to be my voice, and it's going to be like, I am Joey Hain the whole time. Basically, guys, hard reset. The reset. Now.
The sequel.
3, 2, 1. And we are back. Welcome back to the Where's My Hat podcast.
Joey, do you feel as though you have issues with control? Or is that suggestive for me to say that?
No, that's true. I definitely have a control complex. I mean, some people are very focused on producing the way other people think about them. And I'm probably one of those people,
Would you say you're vain?
Yeah. Good segue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is definitely a part of control and producing your image is vanity, and your relationship with vanity as someone who's presenting themselves to be critiqued. Every day you walk out of the house, you're presenting yourself to be critiqued, but especially if you walk on stage to do a tight 5 minutes, you're presenting yourself for critique,
Mm-hmm.
And I always think about that, about how...
Before we get started, sorry to interrupt. Should we do topics out of a hat real fast?
I'd love to. Hopefully Vanity's in there.
Well, you could just finish up what we're saying about vanity and then do them.
Well, as you talk,
we can cut
if we
this.
can...
Branden shook his head. No.
I don't know. You're just being rude, I think.
I'm dying to cut this. I'm going to cut everything.
I can cut.
Joey
up to
talked
the
about
hat.
control issues, or I talked about control issues.
Yeah, I usually change my outfit maybe 4 or 5 times before I go out, to do stand up or otherwise.
I'm an image obsessed person. I'm extremely vain. I definitely have control issues, in terms of beauty sickness in general, and just obsessing over appearance and what I'm presenting in general, blah blah blah. But as it relates to being a performer, which I thought this podcast was about, not about freaking topics in a hat.
Yeah, because we found the hat apparently.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There's my hat. The ASMR cast. I definitely meticulously select what I'm gonna wear, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's I basically wear the same thing every time. I'm wearing a graphic T-shirt that's very it's just an image of one thing, just like an animal, or I'm wearing a tie-dye T-shirt and I'm wearing jeans and it's tucked into the jeans, and I'm wearing a belt and sneakers.
Or one time you wore that really cool sweater with that triangle on it.
I'll wear sweaters too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what sweater had a triangle on it.
I think it was a triangle. It was a brown sweater with a sort of a mauve triangle.
Just one?
I think. It was leather. The triangle was leather, or a patch.
That is so
We had a whole conversation
weird
about it.
Because I used to own a sweater that had a leather pouch on it, and it was so gross to me because when I see leather, I see skin so often, and that sometimes when you see leather, that's clearly it was skin.
Well, I don't think it was
not in
real
the
leather. I
slightest.
think it was maybe a suede type of a situation, or
When I see
We gotta
leather, I
cut this.
see wealth.
We never should have talked about vanity. You were right, Kristen. We're cutting all of this.
all the good
Fair
conversation about
enough.
vanity happened before we had our microphones.
I'm sorry.
So-
Basically, I was saying that even when you're dressed down, you are consciously selecting what you're wearing, and that is a form of vanity. It's not a coincidence that you are wearing, a hoodie every day. You buy hoodies because they make you comfortable, and not physically comfortable, but emotionally comfortable, and that is a form of vanity. You're comfortable being perceived as the guy wearing a hoodie.
So, may I interject for a moment?
Yeah.
So, the first probably 4 months, I wore layers on stage just so I have some sense of comfortability when I'm up there, because I felt so uncomfortable up there. So, it was in the middle of the July heat of the summer here in Indiana, and you would still see me in a hoodie and a ball cap and all this type of gown
Gown.
with many, like I would have many layers on it. And I typically don't wear that many layers, just so I felt more comfortable when I'm on stage.
Yeah, you were in disguise.
Right. And I still sometimes do it, but we were talking about how we present ourselves on stage. And how do you feel as though you present yourself on stage with what you're wearing versus what you're saying?
What I'm wearing, I have tried to, and I don't know if what this has to do with like real life versus stage life or performer life. Like, what I'm wearing has a relationship with what I'm saying. It's purposeful. I have produced and thought about everything that you're consuming when I'm on stage. I don't take the mic out of the stand. You know what I mean? Like, it's like everything. I am like, when it's leading up to when I'm going to go on stage, I'm thinking about the direction to which I'm going up to the stage and, what I'm going to say, even when I'm not really on, quote unquote, and it's like obsessed over. And what I'm wearing has a relationship with that as well. Like I'm not wearing necessarily what I wear on a day-to-day basis. And it's like been thought over. Does that make sense?
Definitely. Like I do my first, I don't think you've ever seen me do it because I typically do it out of town. But when I do physical comedy, I usually start at the beginning of my set to do physical comedy. So I don't take the microphone out of the stage and I can have full access and full autonomy of my body while still have the mic in the mic stand. And then with my outfit, for sure, if it's like a performance that I'm trying to impress the people around, or it's a performance that I was put into for a purposeful event, like for instance, For Real, I'll wear like the typical mom outfit, which I find to be completely ironic because what I say up there is very non-mom-esque. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you feel like what you wear is a mask?
Yes and no. I feel like what I wear is just a presentation of what I want people to interpret versus what I say.
The reason I ask is because, and like you were saying, you wear layers and stuff, but it also goes back to kind of how I dress myself when I'm on stage too. A lot of what I'm wearing, I feel like it's like uncritiquable. Like it's like, this is very normal what I'm wearing, like I'm wearing a t-shirt and jeans and sneakers and a belt. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm trying to look good. I want to look cute. I want to look nice. I want to look like someone who just like has their head on straight. Like I don't want to seem like a psycho, whatever. But it's also, I guess in a way, there's a shield of I'm not necessarily like an outrageous looking person. Because in reality, there are a lot of things about my appearance that are outrageous, or about the way that I walk through the world that is outrageous or like subject to critique that's out of my control. So what's in my control is very almost conservative, even though I'm wearing, like jeans that are skinnier jeans or like there's like close fitting jeans and like a close fitting shirt, I guess it's a little gay or whatever, but like it's like normal, And what I'm saying is whatever I'm saying, it's whatever I wrote. I don't care like if it's normal or whatever. I'm just like sort of paring back what can be critiqued. So when you're up there wearing all of these layers, are you presenting something that is very immune to criticism because you're just normal? Hey, I'm just wearing a baseball cap. You can't see my hair. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. You can't see my body. And like the baseball cap, maybe you can't even see my face because of the way the light is hitting me. Are you immunizing yourself to criticism that unless you subject yourself to it?
Yes.
It reminds me of...
Yes and no, because like I am really open to critique and criticism when it comes to my comedy. Like I am really excited about the idea of people criticizing and critiquing what I say because of I want to become better. I want to become a better comedian. I'm really scared to say this. I have had a couple drinks, so I'm really scared to say this. But I would still love to have the experience. I would like to have the experience of having a heckler. Only because I would love to know what that's like, and I'd love to know how I can handle that situation. And I don't know how I can get better if I don't stay uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And for me, being uncomfortable is what makes, for me, comedy fun for me. Because if I'm comfortable on stage, I don't feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's interesting to me because this goes back to the control thing. Like, I don't want to step outside my comfort zone. So anytime somebody tries to interact with me while I'm on stage, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, but like some people will shout out to me a little bit. But it's usually in a very positive way. I mean, it's only been in a positive way, to be honest. It's happened probably like 10 times, but like, it's always something that's sort of positive. Even that is enough to derail someone, but it's still positive, and like it still makes me uncomfortable because I want to be in control of what it is. Because I think the most important part of what I'm doing is not how I'm saying it, it's what I'm saying, you know? And obviously there's a how I'm saying it element too, but it's really about what I'm saying. Maybe that has to do with the like dressing in a way that is less critiquable. But I also think that some of my jokes hinge on the fact that I need the audience to perceive me as attractive, likable, smart, like a perfect person. You know?
Yeah, that's definitely how I feel. Like, because I'm not a very confident person, and so I want to look as good as I possibly can. Like, I want to feel as good as I possibly can when I go up there, and then people are all looking at me. Because if there's something off, if I don't feel right, like if I don't feel like I look right, then I'll just blow it, you know?
Yeah.
And what you were saying about hecklers too, like it's almost harder if they say something positive and interrupt you, because then you can't just go like, well,
Fuck
this guy's
you.
wasted, he's being an asshole. Like you have to it's kind of like harder to, because people do that at like music shows too sometimes. They'll like yell, you know, like
Positive things.
yeah,
I love you.
yeah,
Yeah.
or like a song they want you to play or something. Even if it's after the set, they'll be like, hey, that was great, you guys should do this and this, and you want to be like, go fuck yourself. Like,
yeah.
but then it's like they just enjoyed it and they want to hear you. So it's like it's harder to deal with that, I think.
It is because, and yeah, in my experience, it's only women, and it's only women that are like near my age or older that are very encouraging and positive about it. I mean, have you guys? I've never seen you be heckled, Stacey.
I have been,
and I've never seen you be heckled, Kay. But like, I feel like a pretty sizable portion of the heckling that I witness, as well as what I receive, is like positive. You know, it's people saying like, okay, yeah, and stuff like that. And it's like, but even that, it's like, I know your comedy, Stacey, benefits from the dead air. You know, for sure. My comedy, I think, benefits from dead air, depending on what it is, but it definitely never benefits from someone yelling, yeah, you know?
Yeah.
There was this one time at Summit, I don't know if you were there. I don't think that you were there, Kristen.
Wasn't.
But there's this girl in the audience, and like while I was doing my set, she was just like, I love you. And I was like, I love you too. Just kidding. I don't know you. And she was like, yeah, you do. And then like I looked harder at her, and I was like, Ashley? And it was like this girl that I had met one time. And then like we had this interaction. God, what was it? she told me we sang karaoke together once.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was like, are you gay now? And she was like, a little bit. And I was like, good, because I only sing karaoke with people who are lesbians.
I remember that. Yeah, you said that you sang with her because you thought she was gay, and that got a laugh.
Yeah.
You benefited from that heckler.
Exactly. And I'll never get that moment back. I wish I had it on video, but that was really funny.
I'm so jealous. I'm scared of that situation to occur because I don't know how I would handle it. I do know I was heckled once by a fellow comedian, and he was just being fun, and I did come up with a clever comeback immediately. But like, the idea of being heckled scares the living daylights out of me. But I want that because I really feel as though I do the best being uncomfortable and trying to figure out how to work through that. Because I don't know what it is. Being comfortable on stage feels almost boring. Not just to me, but to the audience on top of that. Because I'm not being as animated. I'm not being as into the situation as if I wasn't. Does that make sense to anybody?
It makes sense, I think.
Maybe I have performance anxiety, but I feel adrenaline when I'm on stage, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm. But I feel like I'm good at using that adrenaline. I don't think that I have the performance anxiety that someone who has stage fright has. You know what I mean? It's more of a tailwind than a like monster in front of me.
Yeah, like I always get, it's like exciting.
It's a rush.
At this point, yeah, you're like, it kind of is like part of the reason I like doing it, sort of, because you can play all day in my situation, like band practice or like at home, but when you're like playing in front of people, it's a better feeling, I would say.
Yeah.
Sometimes it brings out, like, it makes you play better almost because you're like, you're being watched, so you're
with
like, I got to give these people a show, you know?
Yes, and with comedy, you have immediate feedback.
Immediate.
When you're writing a joke or when I'm writing a joke, I'm plotting the laughs. I'm anticipating where it would be. And if it's not there, there's a pit in your stomach. And if it's where it wasn't supposed to be, it's extremely exciting.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Like that happens to me all the time where people laugh where like it's not like a moment where I expected them to. And like sometimes I'll even stop and be like, I don't know what was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that makes it even funny. It's like a bonus.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll often say like, is that funny? Or I'll say, thank you. Like if someone like laughs at something that I'm not expecting, because it usually will happen in those first 30 seconds where you're not joking at all. And
you're just doing like the setup.
You're just benefiting from the energy of the room or the energy of the host,
Well, and comics have it like, it's weird. It's the only performing art where you get on stage and like the audience feels like they can be part of it. Because imagine that at a play or a band, you can't really do that because they're so much louder than, if anyone's yelling, you can't really hear them.
Yes.
But in stand-up, for some reason, like, the audience thinks, like, oh, this is my chance to have a fucking conversation with and then ruin the show for everyone else because they're like, drunk or whatever. I think that's, like, the most rude shit. Like, I think heckling is the most, like, I'll never be a heckler.
How do you feel about crowd work?
I don't do it. The interesting thing, the other performance thing that I do is, like, I am in an improv troupe, like theater troupe that is like a murder mystery dinner theater here in town. It's called Dinner Detective Fort Wayne, and it is improvisational. So it's like a 2-hour show where I'm improvising the entire time. It's just me and one other person and a room full of like drunk old ladies, and I'm improvising the entire time. It's all crowd work. I'm standing people up and I'm asking them questions and talking to them and making them laugh. But if I'm doing stand up, I don't know, like, time's a little bit more precious when you're doing stand-up. It's not a 2-hour show. The lights are not on. So I'm up there alone. And by the way, I have planned however much time, I've planned 20 minutes to say all of these things. And I planned enough that I don't even have to say all of these things. I've planned enough I've planned 30 minutes, you know, to go on. And when I get that light, I have a joke in my mind that is exactly 1 minute long that I'm going to plug right in. I'm going to transition right to and get right to and tie it up perfectly. You know, I've planned it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when it comes to crowd work, there are people that are great at it. There are people that do it and the audience loves it. And I don't necessarily like it, but I'm watching it and I'm just like, I guess this is what the audience likes and that's fine. And it's people that are obviously great at reading the room. I don't know if I'm great at reading the room. I think also I don't necessarily have the benefit of having audiences that are my type of audience. Like, it's not like I'm getting a lot of like people that are like, I want to go see, you know, a gigantic gay person tell 5 minutes of jokes here at the open mic tonight. No. The people of Fort Wayne are coming to see, you know, a guy that looks like their dad tell them jokes that are crude and rude, and that's not necessarily what I do.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, I hear what you're saying, and like Fort Wayne audience is so much different than around the area for sure. But I do feel like you can, no matter who you are, you can give a performance and it gets a really good response. Whether it's a lesbian, whether it's a gay person, whether it's somebody who is the shrewd and crude dad, like no matter what, you can get a really good response.
I think I'm extremely well received.
Yeah. Most of the time when I do stand up, especially if I'm going somewhere that's like small town Indiana, I'm kind of terrified. It always goes incredibly well. Yeah. Except for one time when I went to Decatur. No. And I did a show in a pizza restaurant. There were 4...
Monster Pizza?
I don't know.
Pizza King?
I don't know.
It was Monster Pizza.
It might have been. I don't think it was Pizza. I don't know. But there were 4 older ladies in the audience. That was it. And as soon as I started talking, they left because I was talking about my asshole.
Perfect. Well, I'm from Decatur, by the way.
Nice.
I live in Decatur. It was Monster Pizza.
Okay.
Those were his aunts, all 4 of them.
Yeah. Wait, you like live in there currently?
Yeah, I live in Decatur. Yeah.
So you drove like upwards of 30 minutes to be here?
30 minutes, yes.
Yeah, it's not super far away.
It's not far. I like it there.
Do you want a Domino's pizza?
Huh?
I mean, it's 30 minutes or less with them. I figure since you drove 30 minutes, we can get you something that's 30 minutes away.
Are you hungry, Krista?
Maybe.
Anyway, the point is like, yeah, if I'm going to like a conservative place, I think that I can still do a great job because I think my jokes are funny. I think that I'm funny, whatever. You know, if I'm doing, it doesn't matter. I think that I'm well received. It doesn't matter. But if it has to do with crowd work, if it's something that feels candid, if it's something that feels like people are being called out by me, I don't think that they necessarily want to hear it from me as much. I don't think people are as receptive for me in that way. If it's, you know, my act is my act. My act is something that I think is good. And it is what it is. And if it goes well, like, I think that it deserved to go well. And if it doesn't go well, I think that it wasn't for them. I think it went over their heads. You know what I mean? That's just like how I feel, you know? So with crowd work, I it's just not, I don't think it's what I do. I don't think that it's something that I'm good or bad at. It's not something that I try to do, you know?
That makes sense. My next question to you is, have you ever gone to a venue and you've seen the audience that was there and you changed your set list?
Nope. Basically, I know what I'm going to do. Sometimes, actually, you know what? That's so funny that you say that. I changed my mind. There, just recently, it happened at an open mic because usually I'm just doing what I'm planning on working on for an open mic because that's what it is. But there were several teachers of mine.
Oh, yeah, I was there.
At an open mic, former teachers of mine who came to see one of another teacher's children who does stand up in town. And I was gonna do all new stuff. Instead, I did 2 new things, and then I closed it on something that always kills.
Because you wanted to impress them.
Because I went to school for acting.
Oh.
And they were teachers who had seen me perform. They were people who are used to judging me and criticizing what I present to them as a performer. And I was like, I'm going to freaking rock their world because like being funny in a classroom is different from being funny on stage and making a room laugh. And I changed it for them. I did. I put in something that
I
always
cannot
kills.
imagine you, Joey, not being funny anywhere.
Thank you. Branden doesn't know. He's never seen
I've
it.
never seen it.
But he's met
feel
you
bad.
twice now.
I don't know how I'm supposed to. That's the thing. I would.
I really would love
I'm
if
totally
you saw all of us.
I'm so
We just
inaccessible.
need. Actually, we can just get a babysitter one of these weeks.
You know what?
You
I
can
really
pay
need
for it.
to.
Yeah.
If you want to come out.
I'm sure I'll have to.
Because everyone in this room, except for you, Branden, are killers up on the mic.
Hell yeah.
Branden,
So
I
one
think
day-
you're really funny. I think you could be good at stand-up if it was something that you wanted to do, but you're already a musician, so
Yeah.
honestly, that might be a better path.
Do you guys like when they combine the two and like it's like a guy that here's what I think's kind of weird. I've always like I've seen Zach Galifianakis do this, and he's like basically he's just playing piano, but he's telling jokes into the microphone. The piano has nothing really to do with anything that he's saying.
Mhm.
He's just doing it, and it's like quieter than his voice. So he's just talking over himself playing.
There's like a humorous cabaret vibe to it, basically.
I guess
That's it.
I guess that's what it is. It's the timing or something. It's interesting. I don't know how I feel about it though. It's almost like, oh, check it out. I play piano, and here's these jokes that would work by themselves already.
Yeah.
So like, what do you need to do that for?
I feel so. My opinion on that is it helps with the timing, and I feel like it helps with the ambiance of the situation. So
Yeah, it
like
totally
Dimitri Martin when he plays guitar with his jokes, I feel like it really helps with like when he strums really hard after a joke. It's like to get the audience not just laugh, but to laugh harder. Does that make sense?
Well, like Sarah
Yeah,
Silverman,
but I don't know
who,
if that's necessarily good or not to do that.
to do that.
I don't know.
Sarah Silverman, who we love,
Yes. Very much.
she writes. So Jesus
I like
is
Sarah.
Magic.
Yeah, Sarah Silverman's awesome.
Her first stand-up special, Jesus is Magic. There are like 5 songs in it.
Yeah, it's like a musical.
Well, see,
special.
song that's different. That like Bo
Yeah.
Burnham, if you're singing, or like Weird Al, even you're singing song like you're
A
making
comedy
that.
song.
It's like a funny song that you wrote to be funny.
Yes.
That's different. I just mean like when they use it as like just background.
They're underscoring their set.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not necessarily bad. I don't know how I feel about it. When I watch stand up though, my favorite comedians don't do that.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Part of me loves the idea of scoring a set because I think a score enriches any television show with an original score is a fabulous television show. Like 30 Rock is fully scored and it's meticulously scored and it's really, really, it makes it better. It's a better show. It sets the mood. Or like
Oh yeah.
SpongeBob, any animated show that you're watching is scored. It's completely scored. It's musical the entire time. And it's
Yeah.
wonderful. It's the score of SpongeBob is funny. There's, trombone. That's like
Yeah.
making silly sounds,
And there's actually only a few movies, and they did this on purpose, that don't have any soundtrack at all. Like No Country for Old Men's one of them. And
Or
they did that,
It
but,
didn't
but
have any
like
music in it?
they had no music in
Oh,
the whole
I
movie.
saw
It's
that
weird.
movie. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's really kind of like if you watch any horror movie and you like they have this on YouTube and stuff where they take the music
score
out,
out.
and it's really weird because that builds a lot of the music definitely makes the movie like a lot more
Exactly.
emotionally impactful. Yeah,
It tells you what to think. And there are people that are like music majors that have Twitter. They've been set loose to Twitter. And they'll just tweet horrible things about movie scores that are just so obvious. It's like, this movie's telling me how to feel. Because they're just these genius musicians who are so sick of like scores. But it's like, no, that's part of the theatrical experience. I've gotten to a point in my suspension of disbelief where I have allowed a soundtrack to tell me how to feel. And that's a fabulous thing. I love it. I love a well-scored movie.
But if it's, I feel like though there is something to be said about that. Like if it's really well scored, a lot of times you don't really know unless you're looking for that. If you're just watching a movie, you don't even think about like Home Alone. I watched that the other day, and it's
Sorry.
Yeah.
I
You're
didn't mean to
okay.
interrupt
No,
you.
that was it. That's pretty much it. I'm just saying. Sometimes you don't notice it.
No, I feel like with horror movies, especially, the score lets me know when something's about to happen.
Like
It's not
from your
necessarily
phone,
telling
bitch.
me how to feel. It's
Right.
just like it's like the anticipation of like, oh,
Yeah.
something's going to happen.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
And that's one of the greatest examples of postmodernism in media is if you look at horror movie scores in 2022, it's just turned 2023, so I can't really say that. But those scores are deceptive. It's deceptively scored. So there is all this ante leading up to nothing. The jump scare happens in the lull, and they get you. It's because we've trained ourselves to watch these movies and look up when they're doom, da-doom, doom, doom,
Yeah.
da-doom,
Yeah.
And then it's just like his brother, like going like, "Bah, gotcha."
Yeah.
And like, but
And
you
it's
think
nothing.
something's about to happen just because of the
Exactly.
That's a good
Crazy
point.
shit.
Actually, I have
Yeah.
That's
noticed that too.
postmodernism,
I have
that's
actually noticed that.
commenting on the comment,
Mhm.
I love that.
Do you guys want to get into some topics in the hat? We've got
Yeah.
we've been at it for a while now. I'll edit a little bit out probably of the beginning after we came back to break.
Before we go any further, just so we are all clear, we should probably end at around 10:30.
Okay.
What time is it now?
It's 9:49.
I'm just saying we've been,
Okay.
we've been on for like 105 minutes.
Okay.
So that's
wait.
an hour 40.
Stacey, you want to
But
go
that's
first?
counting the break and counting like I'll probably edit a little bit after
The
break.
first part, which is getting cut.
Yeah. The entire first half. No, I do the first half. Every time you say that though, it's always like gold. So that means that's like my cue to leave it in
What
for
about
sure.
him?
Yeah, I should
Oh.
get one.
I guess so.
I've gotten a repeat topic.
We're all
here.
drawing topics out of a very old school looking hat that I've never seen Kristen actually wear. Is it your hat?
No. Stacey, you want to go first?
My topic is octopus.
That's a repeat topic.
What's your topic, Joey?
Barack Obama. Was this a trick?
What's your topic?
K Banks's topic is octopus.
It better not be the fucking Great Wall of China over there.
Mine's also octopus.
You guys put only octopus and Barack Obama in here?
No, there's also an
Where's
equal
Great
amount
Wall
of
of
Great Wall
China?
of China.
I've totally
Here's a
forgot.
piece. Another Barack Obama. This is not funny.
Dude, they told me they were going to do that and I forgot.
Why?
That's
Because
hilarious.
you
Okay,
guys know
Joey.
that I hated these topics.
Okay,
That's
Joey.
exactly
Do you want to
why.
do a real one? That was it.
Wait.
That was hilarious.
Before we go any further, was these three topics in the episode?
Yes.
Episode 2, hard reset.
It wasn't
I had
edited
Great
out.
Wall of China.
Yeah.
right.
Joey had
He had
octopus,
octopus.
and you had Barack
Yeah, and you
Obama.
had Obama.
And they weren't edited out.
We edited out a bunch of stuff because for reasons that I'm not going to bring up.
So we don't have to edit it out again.
Yeah.
All right. Do we
The
want?
audience
do
is
we
like,
want
"What
other
was it?"
topics?
Yeah, we're getting new topics.
I think we should do octopus, Great Wall of China, and Obama.
Well, what,
No.
okay, what do you want to say about
Joey doesn't
octopus though? It's
I'll-
like it's
I'll
a cool
rehash
it's
it.
a cool creature.
Yeah, they can shapeshift in the South Pacific. That rocks, but other than that,
They're also a mollusk and a pescatarian.
All right. This
pescatarian
is a
too.
real.
okay. Real
But I made all of
topics.
those for you, Joey.
Thank you. That's kind of funny.
Oh, do you want one?
Oh yeah, I can take one.
I just got another topic. It's a big letdown, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have done octopus,
Hang
Barack
on.
Obama, and Great Wall of China.
I don't
But
know
you
what it
wanted
is.
real
Can we trade?
topics, Joey. This is all for you.
Tradesies. No, don't look.
Okay, I'll trade you.
Tradesies.
You know what? You should have looked.
I don't care.
You're so trusting.
Oh, this one's good.
Group dance.
I know. What's
What?
that mean?
I don't remember
Like
right.
the
you
macaroni-
go first. You go first.
Well, let's hold on to this and continue talking for a little bit longer. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because I got a lame topic also. Can I do a double dip?
Double dip.
No.
Let's all double dip.
Can we all double dip?
They're all lame. Brendan, what'd you get?
I got eggs.
Come on. What's yours, Kristen?
They're all lame, Joey.
Bosses.
Bosses is good. Dumb.
You know what? On one hand, I think if they're lame,
I
it
got
makes
pets.
it. You have to be more creative in a way if it's really lame and make it like talk about something interesting. But at the same time, it's like, can't you guys
I'm double
think
dipping.
of something like different than eggs?
Honestly, I just got another bad one. They're
What-
all bad.
They
one's
are
Harry
all bad.
Potter.
I
Let's see
told you.
what the next.
I told you they're all bad. The other one that I traded him was pets.
I can go there with Harry Potter, though, honestly.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Oh man, I have imaginary friend, but friend spelled wrong.
That's good.
How is it spelled?
The E and the I are switched around.
Are they really?
Can we get into
That's
that?
crazy.
Oh, friends. Did any of you guys have an imaginary friend?
I did.
I didn't.
Kristen?
Never had one.
So
So yes or no?
Yeah, honestly, I'm like, what is this like vamping going on? Yes or no? 5.
it's not a funny story. It's just a story. So I had this like balloon taped to a cup,
No.
and I put a smiley face on it, and then I put little hands and feet on it, and I named it Bob. And I took Bob with me everywhere for a long period of time, and it freaked out my mom and my stepfather. So my stepfather popped it, and I was traumatized.
That's awful.
Is this
Sorry.
Castaways 2?
Yeah.
Is Tom
Smith.
Hanks going to be in it?
It was before Castaway came out.
No.
So
what?
it's the
Yeah,
prequel.
it was Bob.
What are you talking about? When did Castaway come out?
I don't know.
Somewhat, actually, you might be right because Castaways was.
No, I
like
am right. This is my story about my
2000
life.
Something.
What? Castaway was 2000?
I think it was.
It was.
I know it's a
9/11.
story about your life. I'm saying if Castaways was before or after that event.
I lived in the townhome, so it was about 99 to 2000.
Wow.
We could look. We all have phones, but all right.
I'm
I'll
so
check.
not
You're the
plugged
editor.
in. I'm so not plugged in. That's what's so great about me. Stacey,
I'm kind of drunk. I'm not even sure what you guys are talking
who
about.
was your
anymore.
imaginary friend?
I think her name was maybe like Teresa or something. She had long brown hair. I used to like draw her like little like paper doll drawings, kind of. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Did you believe in her?
She had cute little outfits. No, I mean I knew that she was just like a thing I was drawing, but I mean I think I was like kind of lonely and bored, you know. So it was
She was
like,
a character you created.
kind of, yeah.
How old were you?
Like elementary school, like 2nd or 3rd grade.
Did you talk about her? Did you tell people
No,
about
I
her?
don't think I've ever talked about her until now.
Oh, her name was Teresa. That's kind of cute.
I think that's what her name was.
She was a Catholic girl.
Maybe she wore like little tank tops.
She was hot.
Yeah.
She was gay.
I mean, I think she was like a gay girl that looked straight. 'Cause-
Yeah, lipstick les.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
She's passing.
You?
I never had an imaginary friend.
Did you
I
know
really
anybody
didn't.
who had an imaginary friend?
I didn't know anybody who had an imaginary friend. No, that's interesting that you asked that. Did you?
No, I did not.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
nobody's
never.
open about that.
I mean, no. If I would admit it if I did. I really would.
But when you're kids, like, I don't know anybody who had an imaginary friend because people
I
weren't
didn't
like,
either if they didn't
"My
admit it. Maybe,
imaginary-"
yeah.
Why would that be?
I don't know. It's weird. I think it's kind of odd. It feels like some kind of trauma happened if you have an imaginary friend to me, but
Yeah, me too.
which is fine. I
Sorry,
mean, that's
Stacey.
okay.
I mean,
Get
since
through
you've been
things how you
through
got to
it.
get through them. You know.
We were just like little gay kids that weren't sure what was going on. You know?
Right.
I get it.
And I didn't have like a whole lot of people around me all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did. I guess is the difference. Maybe I was surrounded by people.
Yeah, I
Maybe
had
so.
siblings that were all, you know, I'm the oldest of 4, and like we were all close in age, so like maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Also, Castaway came out in December 2000.
So
Oh.
pre 9/11. So suck it.
It was
Yeah.
pre 9/11
It might have been
by months and months.
Bob might have been post 9/11 then.
Wow.
I don't know.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
It wasn't like I
You
don't
didn't
remember
steal it.
I don't remember stealing the idea.
If it
from
was a
Castaway.
volleyball, I'd get really suspicious though.
Like Faker.
Bob was chill, man.
Did you think Bob was real? Was Bob sentient to you?
No,
Did
it
you
was
talk
just
to him?
Bob was just cool. We hung out. I carried Bob with me back and forth to my homes, and he was just chill.
Yikes. You needed a hamster so bad.
I had like 20 million cats and 3 dogs.
Whoa.
20 million. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's a lot. You needed a kennel license.
At that point, maybe. But yeah, no, Bob was chill, and I remember being heartbroken when Bob got popped, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
When he got popped.
Did
It's
you
like
get
he
a
got arrested
haircut?
or something.
When?
Like recently? Like in the last week or so?
No.
Your hair's just like sitting differently.
It might be. I did shower today.
It's
so
layery.
I didn't, like,
Okay.
It looks
Yeah,
layery.
it looks layery.
She took her monthly shower, so it looks a little different.
I did put conditioner in it today, which is unlike me.
Do you guys ever have this is a great temptation of mine. I love cutting people's hair.
You what?
I love cutting people's hair.
You know, I have done it a couple of times.
I want to do it. It's
Yeah.
it's called a Delilah complex. It's something I made up. Well, it probably exists. You know in the Bible when Delilah cuts Samson's hair and takes his power? I love cutting people's hair. It's just like,
So you think
It
you're
gives you
taking their
power.
power?
I don't know. It just is like, I'm
Are you-
changing you.
Are you good at it?
I am,
Have you
yeah.
done? You've done it like quite a few
Many,
times.
many
to
times,
other
yeah.
people or to yourself?
To myself and other people. I cut my own hair and I cut other people's hair all the time. I love doing it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that explains my hair is what you're saying?
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just thinking it.
Yeah, I love cutting people's hair.
Your hair looks good, by the way.
Thank
Your
you.
hair
I
does
thought
look
about
good.
like I'm gonna get mine cut short, like a few
I'll do
inches
it.
off.
I'll do it.
Really?
You want me to do it right now?
Maybe not right now.
I would
but
love to do it after this podcast. I love cutting people's hair.
You just do it for free, though. You should like
Yes.
make it, like because people make good money doing that shit.
Don't care. I do it for free. You know what I love doing? Cutting someone's hair at a party, so everyone can see. I'm like,
Yeah.
I changed this person.
Wow.
This God made man in His image.
Damn, that kind of goes back to the vanity thing a little bit, but it's on someone else.
Not a little bit, a lot of it.
It's like
100%
I'm making
related.
them present themselves in a different way now. That's crazy.
Yeah, like
They ask for something, you're like, I know what you like.
Yeah,
Like one of those people.
Literally,
that I just know what would be good.
this one guy whose hair I cut at a party, I cut it like way shorter than he wanted, and he loved it. And I was just like, this is the height of human achievement.
I'll
This
never let you cut my hair
doesn't get
once.
better. I wouldn't cut it. I'll cut it longer than you want.
Oh,
Ooh.
ooh.
How's
How
he-
You made it
Yeah.
longer.
Black
Give you a
magic.
little room to work with.
There we
Like,
go.
Honestly, I think as long as you do it like not bad, like uneven or obviously mess it up, people are always happy with it. when
Don't
it's
tempt
done.
me.
They're
Nah.
just gonna
Don't
be.
tempt
They're just gonna
me.
be like.
That's not true at all.
People are like, oh, you know what I mean? 'Cause
For
they're used to
you.
being like,
Well, like-
if they're kind of, it depends on how often they get their hair cut, I guess. But if you know what I mean, if you're getting a trim and they go a little shorter, but it looks good, you're not gonna. For me, I guess maybe it is just me, but I'm
It
like,
is just you. You only get your
I'm
hair cut
very-
maybe once every 3 years.
no. If I did that, it would be like down to my ass. I get it like once.
You got
a
to cut
year.
recently.
Once a year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got it cut recently. It's been
not 3 years ago.
6 months
Kristen
ago.
Stewart.
And so
6
another
months ago
2
is
and a half
different
years, you'll get it cut.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it cut in a few more months, I think,
You're gonna get it cut in a few minutes.
or maybe yeah. I don't know. Maybe just because you said that, I'm gonna start cutting it like all the time
I'm
So
shaving
we've
it
known
off.
each other for 4 years. You've only had your hair cut 3 times.
that you know of,
Yeah.
but you don't.
I
know.
notice every time.
Well,
Head
think
hair?
about it. 3. Yeah, that's like already you're disproving what you just said.
Okay, I was exaggerating a little
Okay.
bit, but not by much.
All right. Well, the point is, my hair is pretty awesome, so I
Okay.
like it.
You barely get your hair cut. How often
So
do
I
you
don't-
get your hair cut? Stacy?
Whenever Frankie asks me to,
Oh, okay.
because we get our hair cut together.
Oh, who's Frankie?
He's my best friend. He works at After Dark.
Oh, I know Frankie.
Yeah.
Does karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah.
How
Does
often
he
do you
know-
get
does
your
he know
hair
what he-
cut, Joey?
I cut it whenever I have a psychotic episode.
How often do you have
basically.
psychotic episodes?
No, I don't have psychotic episodes. I cut it whenever I'm like having like, I wish I could lose 10 pounds this minute. I'll cut my hair, you know?
Doesn't that make you look fatter?
Well, it's just like I need immediate change, basically, is what
Okay.
it is. Or like I'll dye my hair, you know? Like I need immediate change. So
I have noticed you dyed your hair recently. It looks good.
well, thank you.
Wait, you think so? A haircut will make him look fatter?
Well, yeah. If
Shorter
you're,
the hair,
if you
the
have,
fatter you
The
look.
like
shorter,
less.
I could kind of see that. Like if it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
scraggly up top, then you don't really notice. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did your hair get shorter or did you gain 5 million pounds?
Right, like there's a certain
Huge.
point when it's just. And I don't think Joey could look fat no matter what
No.
you did.
True story.
Unless he gained weight.
I'm glad we're
He might.
recording this.
Yeah, you can go back and just listen to this and
Over
feel
and
good
over.
about
Just
yourself.
masturbate.
Yeah.
I'm thin. I'm thin.
Yeah.
I feel like you were gonna ask me something, Branden.
It was about the haircut thing. Like when you
Oh.
said, does it make him lose weight? Like I was like, huh.
It was
Never really
before
thought about
that.
it. Was it? What were you saying? I don't know.
About how me and Frankie get our hair cut?
Oh yeah.
Together.
Do you value Frankie's opinion, or is he just someone that you're like when he says, like if someone tells me to get my hair cut, obviously that happens all the time when you have longer hair. People are like, you should get your hair cut, or like older people do sometimes that you work with.
Ants.
And you're like, no.
Like, yes,
Or they're bald or something.
as a friend in other areas of life, I value his opinion.
Yeah.
But mostly us getting our hair cut together is a convenience thing for him because I drive.
Gotcha.
So
you guys
it's not
don't have
like
the
him.
same haircut.
It's not like him thinking, "Oh, Stacey really needs a haircut."
I was
It's
just
him
curious.
thinking I need a haircut. I might as well ask my friend who drives me to get a haircut to also get a haircut.
Right.
Is it also a camaraderie thing, or is it just a convenience thing?
I think it's also a camaraderie.
Well,
thing.
when you said it, you were like, whenever Frankie tells me to get a haircut, like I thought he was just like, this is getting out of hand. Like
Right.
we're going for a haircut right now, kind of thing.
No, it's because his hair is getting out of hand.
So it's evolved into ritual, though.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Even if that was the case, that's cool. I don't care.
Branden,
You're
is there
Your hair
anything
looks
that
good.
you do
Thank you.
with other people as like a
No.
camaraderie thing?
Nothing? No ritual? No
do
group
I
ritual?
do? I mean, yeah, just being in a band is like all of that, and
Yeah.
then not really. I guess when I smoked weed all the time, I guess that was kind of a thing too. You'd have like certain people that would come over and you'd do that together. I guess.
That's
Or
like the
or even,
most
like-
ancient ritual there is. It's
Yeah,
like-
it's. I mean, is that what you mean, or am I like totally off?
No, just it was a very bland term. Like it was just a way, just any sort of camaraderie thing that you would do with people. Like, was there a specific ritual of any sort, like sports, smoking weed, or anything like that?
and I've played I played rugby and football in high school, and
What?
I played basketball when I was like in elementary school, like 4th and 5th grade, and we had this co-ed softball league for like the summer. It was kind of just like for fun because me and all my friends that I knew in like small town thing, so that was kind of cool. So I've done stuff like that. I guess that's camaraderie in a way. And then like playing video games was always like that with me and my brothers, 'cause since we were all like, there were like, 4 of us, and we'd all play like split screen 4-player stuff. So I don't know, that kind of shit.
That definitely is.
Yeah.
What about you, Joey? Is there anything that you do ritualistically with friends?
Not really.
No, you don't. You don't consider open mic.
There's a ritual element to some parts of it, but I also am someone who tries to negate decorum, or I want to subvert decorum in a way. Like if I feel that I'm expected to hang out, it makes me really not want to hang out really, really bad. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
There are people who, if you do a show with people like in theater, and if you're like doing like a play, and everybody's like, let's go get pizza or whatever, and then you and like the one person you're tight with goes to IHOP instead, like people will be mad at you. And I don't want them to be mad at me, but I don't want to like have to participate in the expected ritual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what if
Totally.
the expected ritual is something you want to do?
Well, if it was pizza, I definitely would go because I love pizza.
Okay.
But it also depends. Like it depends on the environment. So if we, I'm trying to think of a good example, like you said about like comedy, in comedy.
What about holidays? Do you go?
Yeah, I definitely. Well, my family, I'm very close with my family, so we
Okay.
do every holiday with my mom's extended side. So
How come I'm not invited to your family holidays?
because baby Dean
Would have a
is
great time. I don't see a
busy
downside.
at all times in Anderson, Indiana, going to weddings left and right.
Yeah.
And we better censor baby Dean because
Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to. I still think it's okay to say it.
I was listening
But-
to an episode and I heard his little
Yeah.
name
3 times.
uttered.
3 times.
Yeah,
I'm so upset
And
about
then
it.
I heard
forgot.
Kristen
I
say,
didn't even
Branden
think
will
about it.
censor that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Branden doesn't edit our podcast. He'll listen to it, but not edit it.
You know what?
doesn't
I
even
really
listen to
should.
it.
He barely listens.
I
to
should
it.
just like not edit a podcast so you can see what that sounds like.
Yeah.
The only difference
Like,
is there's some
honestly-
pauses.
I know
That's the
that
only
you
difference.
edit it.
And not
I
only
just
that, like
Barely.
she says that I don't listen to it. Like, and I don't always listen to every minute of it. You're right.
I will
But
fully admit right here on this podcast, here on episode 17, I don't listen to our podcast.
This is
Absolutely.
Episode, first of
I will
all,
fully admit that. I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't like how I interject
and that's
on people.
that's okay.
And I will admit that. Fully 100% admit
but this
that.
is episode 16.
The editor, though,
Okay.
can he admit that?
Well, this is episode 16, and I do listen to them. Like, I don't always listen to, like I just said, I don't always listen to every minute of it if I'm in it, especially when I,
Or
like last
45
week,
minutes of
like
it.
last week, I
Maybe
was,
even 50
I was like,
minutes of
oh
it.
shit, it's Sunday, and I need to like have this edited by tomorrow. I forgot. So I'll like make sure the intro and everything's in there, make sure it's sounding good. And then part of that is I have to let it play for a while. And I have this tool that kind of tells me like the overall loudness. So I'm always listening to, and I also
Levels
skip
and stuff.
around sometimes, especially if it's like, so there's been ones where it's like 3 hours worth of stuff. And I'm supposed to, like she just said she doesn't listen to it. So that means I have to do for every like hour, there's like, you know, maybe 2 hours worth of like editing you're doing.
wow.
Branden, do you think we should call this the Ungrateful Cast?
She doesn't. Well, and I tried to show her kind of how to do it because she's said that before. Like maybe you should just let me edit it. I was like, yeah, I can show you how to do some of this stuff. And they had the suggestion of like after we're done like with this, we'll like listen to it back that night, and then they can.
We
like,
did that the first night. It was really fun, but I feel like considering Kay's time schedule and needing to work early in the morning, I
and
don't think that
I totally
is
understand
practical.
that, and I'm doing my best. Is all I'm trying to say. In the last couple weeks, I definitely have been super busy with like Christmas, my finals, all this bullshit. But
Yeah, Chris and Stuart. The father of your child is crying out here.
I'm trying. No, I like.
And all
I'm-
you can say is, have
but
you listened to my podcast that I don't listen to?
I felt so
and also,
bad.
the other thing too is
Okay.
I'll let you. Sorry, but
She was just want to confess.
the
a
other thing too
feeling.
is the last 3 weeks we've been getting like good number, like a more consistent, higher number on each episode has been like they were kind of hitting a stride, and
It's
it's
been
actually
pretty good, but I feel bad because Jared's episode hasn't gotten a lot of listens.
Yeah, that's
cut
weird
this,
to me.
Cut this.
And no, but it's true though. If you look at like
He listens to every episode, by the way.
Poor guy.
well, we can cut this, I guess. But if you look at the
Oh,
numbers,
yeah.
though, his doesn't have that. But I think it's because it was Thanksgiving week, and like everyone's plans are different, kind of on Thanksgiving. I think.
If we're listening to Joey Hain's podcast right now, I do want to say let's listen to Jared's episode because it was
No.
a really good episode. It was a very good episode. Have you listened
it
to
was,
it?
it was good.
listen
I
to
don't know.
Joey-
That's what I mean.
Mr.
Joey's
Joey H.
original. Listen to the original Joey Hain episode and then turn it all off. Shut it down.
No, that's the problem.
Did you guys know if you search my name and comedy? Because my cousin was telling me at Christmas that he was like trying to find my stand up and he looked up my name and comedy. The first thing that came up was this podcast.
Yeah.
The
That's
episode I was on.
awesome.
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
that's probably a contributor to those streams, right? Because I'm just a beloved.
Do you have
Hot
video of
person.
yourself online?
No, I was gonna talk about this. I want to like create a better social media presence, but it's so hard for me to like. I have like footage and stuff that I want to cut up. I wish I would have recorded those last 2 sets that I did at Summit because the audiences were huge.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get on Instagram and just post reels.
I
Reels
do.
are where it's at, man.
I know. I want to make
And
those
Facebook reels
ones,
too. You can upload the same reel that you did on Instagram. You can like save the
cross
reel.
post it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do that, and I want to make a TikTok, and I want to make those ones
And
that
TikTok.
have the words right on it that are saying it, like the like
Oh yeah.
captioning. but
It does
was
that like
cool.
automatic. There's like just play around with it for a
need
while.
to
Like
do
it
that.
it's fun. I think it's fun. So it's easy to
worth
like
it.
mess around with it a lot.
I want to do that, and then I also have ideas for like little sketch things, kind of that my brother gave me
Yeah.
this one idea. I'm not going to tell you guys; you'll just have to see it. But
I was like that for a long time with like Instagram and stuff. Like I just had like a Facebook page, and then I started like really getting more serious about putting just random music clips and stuff. And now I'm like, why didn't I do this? It's so easy to set up and like just doing. It's fun kind of. And then if I make something on TikTok, like the video, you can put it on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. You can have it on all four, the same video.
I will say Brandon's Instagram presence is quite outstanding.
I don't have that
same with
many
your TikTok
followers,
presence.
though.
You still have like, I'd say everything you make has at least 1,000.
A lot of them
views.
do. The one video that did really well was me making fun of classical pianists and like how they approach the piano and like the whole thing. And I'm wearing a suit. But that one in particular got a ton of views, like 20,000 views on Instagram.
One of my favorite moments from this podcast was when there was like, it was back when Branden used to edit the podcast, and
yeah,
there was a little
that was my clone
audio clip of Branden going, "This is for the people who like
the nerds.
K Banks is a complete idiot."
I thought you were talking about
Mozart, not Beethoven.
Oh yeah,
I loved it. I was like, "This is high Branden content, and this is worthy." I want more of this. I hope the majority of this podcast is Branden in post commenting on.
Dude, my favorite thing is making like when I'm editing is doing the little intros.
I love the intro.
And then it's fun to like there was one where they were like, it was with Julie, and you guys were like, Kristen goes, "I don't think it's been recording this whole time, guys." And before that, they were all like I was setting it up, and they're like, "Are you sure it's recording?" I'm like, "Yeah, like I'm sure it's recording." And I was like, "We've done this like 14 times. You guys don't trust me yet."
Yeah.
And then I was like, I left the room, I let them, because they don't usually like me to be on the podcast, but since you're here, it's special.
To be fair, it didn't look like that.
It is really small, and it's okay. Like, I wasn't mad about that, but I thought it was funny, because then before they went to break, when she said they weren't recording, Julie was like, "Yeah, because he's done this 14 times. You guys don't trust him." And then she died laughing. And then then it cuts to me going like, "Everything's fine, guys. Like, we're coming back. They're going on a little break, and we're back." And then it cuts to like the rest of the episode.
I love that stuff.
But it's like a little like, I could have said more shit, but I was just like, no, I'll just leave it. Because then the audience listening's like, we're hearing this, so obviously it was recorded. So like, they're just talking shit for nothing kind of thing.
This is called the K Banks Gets Repeatedly Owned by Her Baby's Dad podcast.
There are podcasts that I listen to, though, that are like slightly more professional than this.
Well, yeah.
But
I'm not getting paid. It's just me doing it. Like, there's a lot of things. My equipment right now is kind of rigged together a little bit, but we're making it work.
I was gonna say
it's my first one.
That was like the first half of my sentence.
I immediately took offense to it.
That's okay.
That's
kind
of what you do,
okay,
though. You immediately take offense to things before we even have the ability to say something.
Totally. That's what I do.
This is the Stacey Can't Talk cast.
Yeah. No, I was going to say I listen to other podcasts where
how dare you?
Like, they'll come back and say, "We're sorry. We promised this specific episode, and we did record it, but it didn't record." So, moving on.
Wait, what?
Like,
we
had it on the schedule that it was going to be like the Loch Ness Monster episode.
Yeah, but then because it didn't actually record when they did that episode, they don't go back and do it because it's not organic then.
Oh,
right.
Speaking of things that
we don't do that either, though, right?
Different fictitious.
No, I'm just saying
things.
this happened.
Yeah. No, I totally.
Podcast.
Yeah.
So one of our listeners that comments on our YouTube channel has
Crystal Spalding, shout out.
Shout out to Crystal Spalding.
She's here in
She's
Fort
an
Wayne.
adamant listener and an adamant commenter, and we appreciate her so much. I really do appreciate her. I love having feedback. If you guys want to give feedback, please email us at where'smyhatpodcast@gmail.com or on our YouTube page, which is Where's My Hat Podcast. And tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you want to think. So Crystal Spalding said, "I want to hear more about conspiracy theories."
Or our Facebook or Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, same thing.
But you're right. Okay.
Where's My Hat Pod? Where's My Hat Podcast?
I'll put this in the beginning, too, so people can...
Crystal Spalding has commented, asked, I would love to hear more about conspiracy theories. Is there any conspiracy theory that any of us in this room want to talk about?
Or believe.
It's
tough because somebody who wants to hear about conspiracy theories, and Crystal Spalding, I'm dressing you down right now.
Don't.
Anybody?
She is an awesome listener and commenter.
She has a sense of humor, I think. I think she'll think it's funny. She'll be honored that we're talking about her.
Good.
I hope so.
Anybody that wants to hear about conspiracy theories, probably we're a little bit out of our depth for what they want to hear. Like she knows, she's got her handle on it. She thinks that RFK was like, this is the RFK cast.
What do you think about RFK?
The guy that
he was a
killed
handsome
him,
devil.
No, I mean, he was not.
Yes, he was. He was so much more handsome than JFK.
No, I mean about his death.
He was assassinated by a Palestinian radical.
Sorjon or whatever.
Hey, who's RFK?
Robert something Kennedy.
Oh,
I
so
even
he
think
was
his
related
middle
to
name
the
was an
Kennedys
F.
and he died as well.
JFK's brother, who was also
brother.
assassinated while he was running for
He was
president.
really important.
Like how many of them are going to get assassinated and why? Even
He
the
was the
original.
first and last,
The Kennedy curse.
Okay.
Anyway, Joey, what are your thoughts on RFK?
Well, like what? Why was I talking about RFK?
I don't
Because his
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, the conspiracy surrounding his death. That like basically his assassin was brainwashed to commit it, hypnotized to do it. Yeah. And that he totally forgot that it happened after it happened based on like how he reacted to it because he was just like a busboy basically.
Did you listen to the RFK tapes?
No, I don't know why I know about it.
That's crazy.
I think Wikipedia.
Okay.
Is like that conspiracy goes so much deeper than could ever be discussed. And Crystal Spalding is like listening to this. She's like, I'm about to take a nap because I've got the RFK tapes covered. She's like, that's my audiobook for nighttime, okay?
And Crystal Spalding, if you don't have the RFK tapes covered, go look up the RFK tapes and then also the Ballad of Billy Balls, which I think they're like consecutive podcasts in the same podcast series. But the Ballad of Billy Balls is my favorite podcast, so definitely go look that up.
What's a better conspiracy theory that we know more about?
Let's see. Like, there's there's like Illuminati. There's 9/11. Whether that was an inside job.
Yeah.
Oh, so
there's
Kanye real fast exposed the Illuminati, saying that every famous person sacrificed a family member to be a part of the Illuminati. Kanye sacrificed his mom. Michael Jordan sacrificed his dad, and then he goes on and on. Apparently, Kanye is missing.
No.
Missing.
Breaking news.
According to TikTok, he is missing.
Well, okay. Number
this
one
one
news source in the
TikTok
world.
video?
TikTok.
Several TikTok videos.
Oh, thank God. 4 TikTokers.
Yeah. Oh, it's been cross-checked with another TikToker. Okay, good. Here's the thing, man. That guy is kind of nuts, and like just because he says
That's a
the
really
Illuminati
good
is
cover
real,
to be missing. Is saying, "Oh, Kanye is nuts. Of course he's going to go missing.
That'll
He's
be-
going to
yeah,
do a
that's a
Dave
good
Chappelle thing
conspiracy.
and go to Africa." Like,
yeah.
come on now.
Kanye is nuts.
Like I would say, he definitely like with the whole Jew thing. Like he doesn't know what he's saying. Sometimes I truly believe he's not like hateful necessarily towards Jews. Maybe like he said some hateful shit.
Did you see what he said on Alex Jones?
He said
though?
some fucked up shit.
Seriously,
And he should.
that
I mean,
was beautiful.
but why do people take everything that guy? He's a rapper. Like, why do we listen to him? So, and then it's like it's
think
just
it's
crazy.
because
And he
after
lost all his endorsements and stuff. So like he got like kind of fucked over for everything already.
I think it's because after Trump got elected, we realized like the joke celebrity figure who's saying things that are harmful to other people's like human rights and infringement, like purports to have a goal that would infringe on someone's human rights. That funny character is not a funny character, you know?
Right. It's not.
Character.
No, it's not funny. But I kind of almost feel like he needs like a friend that can be like, "Hey, what the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, I agree. I 100%
Good,
agree. I gave it lips. So I was
Wow.
showing Stacey.
What would you call that pillow? I have a pillow in my house that
It's an emoji pillow with reverse sequins that changes it from a yellow smiling emoji to a gold, silver smiling emoji. And I gave it lips by flipping the sequins around the mouth from gold to silver. To me, it's funny.
I think it looked hilarious.
Can you give it a handlebar mustache?
I don't think there's enough real estate for a handlebar mustache.
The mouth's too
frankly.
big. So that's how you should think of that. That's what you should be doing when someone's like talking about what Kanye's saying. It's like that's how important it really is, to be honest.
I was listening to everything you were saying. I
No,
treasure
I'm
your every
serious
word.
though. Like it doesn't matter.
Thank
It's
you,
like,
Joey. I
To me, it
appreciate
matters. To me, it matters.
I appreciate. It's just I just think people take celebrities that literally. He said something about what his accountants or something. And it was stupid.
I find it fascinating when I get on TikTok and I watch things about Kanye on TikTok and I read the comments. Like I like to read the comments on a lot of the videos that I watch just to see what people believe in this. And like you'll see a lot of people saying, "Oh, Kanye is finally speaking the truth. It's about time someone really exposed what's really going on in Hollywood." And I'm just like,
About the Illuminati thing?
About the
Yeah.
Illuminati, about the Jews running the Hollywood, all that kinds of stuff. And I just find that fascinating because why
Send me
would
these
you?
TikToks, and then next time we record, I'll say how I feel about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Like do a Google search too though. You don't have to only use TikTok. I'm just saying.
And then like
I'm good with one.
I love
source.
TikTok. Like
Try
how
to
else
do.
am I
Okay,
going to
with
have
one
my
source.
attention span really working?
And there's good stuff on TikTok. I'm not saying like everything on there is wrong.
No, it just I find it really fascinating. It's entertaining stuff regardless. Conspiracy theories, whether they're right or wrong, is very entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. I like hearing about them.
Shout out to Crystal Spalding.
Shout out.
That was for you.
Is there any other conspiracy theories that we'd like to talk about?
All right, but we should wrap it up pretty soon here.
Very soon.
Yeah, I have to pee.
Yeah, she has to pee.
Should we talk about our topics?
Yeah,
Well, we did,
what
didn't
are-
we? We had imaginary friend.
What was yours, Kristen?
Mine was.
I also had eggs, but I'm okay with not. I mean, there's different
Eggs
styles
are
of
good.
eggs. I like eggs.
They're
But
I like eggs
anyway,
too.
go ahead.
I want to think about eggs.
Okay.
I like
No, we
eggs.
don't have to. Like, there's different ways to make them. I think it's
Mhm.
fascinating how many different ways you can order an egg. But other than that, I have nothing.
I read a whole book about egg candling when I was a kid.
Ooh.
You guys are
Yeah.
keeping it to chicken eggs. I hear.
Oh shit!
That's what I'm hearing.
What kind of eggs are you interested in, Joey?
Human.
I
Right.
thought you were gonna say like ostrich.
Would
or
you
something.
ever eat human eggs? Like it was
No.
like calamari?
No. It's
It'd
like
be more
this
like-
is basically
Or escargot.
pee.
Be more like caviar.
It's basically pee. Hey, another question.
Straight up.
What do you feel about women's breasts?
What do I feel about them?
Mhm.
Like, do you stare at them?
do you like
No.
them?
Do you like them?
Do you want to touch them?
Do you ever touch a woman's breast?
Have you ever touched
No need.
them?
Have
I
you ever?
Okay.
Have you ever?
no need.
Personal question. Have you ever penetrated a woman?
No. My God.
With what though?
No, nothing.
You've never.
That's
Have
true,
you ever
it
made
could
out with a
be.
woman?
Nope. Sorry. Breaking your little fantasy into, aren't
Were you a
you want
C-section
to?
or
No, I'm
were
just
you
kidding.
a?
I? No, it was a natural birth, but I
Okay.
was induced. I don't know if that helps.
I was a
You had to
C- I
be
was a
forced through
C-section.
a woman's vagina.
I was a C-section.
Really?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know if I was or not. To be honest, I'm not even sure.
I think you were
I
a
was
natural birth. I think all of you were natural births.
How would Kristen?
I wasn't.
I've
I was a
listened
She
to
has
his mother.
No idea.
I just told you I was born C-section. You said all of you.
She's talking
No,
about
all of
the,
his
all the
family,
Eifert
No.
boys.
all the Eifert
The
children.
thing is,
All right.
I think you're right, but it's still funny that you would be that
Yeah,
that
like,
assertive about it. But
You're
like,
recalling a conversation you had that like definitely didn't like what were you
we
talking
we
about?
had a conversation about it because
I don't know, like, because you were pregnant and my mom, but I don't remember. Like, it's something I just never chat up with my mom about. Like, so did I come out your pussy, or did I get
Ew.
cut out of you? It's
No,
just
she
something you
talked
don't talk
about
about.
God.
all four like because the
I'm just
longest
saying, it's weird.
the longest labor was with you.
See, now it's getting like the details.
Yeah,
like,
but the
And
first
sh-
one's the hardest.
Did you know that
That's
human
true.
fertilization has gone down 50% in the last 50 years?
I believe it.
What do you mean in general?
Yeah, because of plastic.
Like
oh, like it's harder for people to just have babies in general.
Like
most people.
it's caused like sperm cell, damage, and then also it's like testicular cancer is more prominent because of that.
I have heard about the plastic thing like a lot, actually.
Did you know that they can measure how fertile you can be as a man by how far away your asshole is to your testes?
That can't be right.
TikTok. I'm just kidding.
No, that's Joe Rogan. But still, like, I find that fascinating. It was by a doctor.
That's like one of those things where they're like, hold your hand up and like the length of like, what is it? Like the distance
Your
from here to
ring
here
finger
is like,
and your index finger is like indicates testosterone exposure in the womb.
Yeah, and like how big your dick is and stuff. Or like even the big feet, big hands thing, big dick.
Isn't it for for women, if your ring finger is longer than your index finger, you've had longer testosterone exposure in the womb, so you're more likely to become a lesbian?
I thought you were going to say have an extra.
I don't know how true this is. I just remember reading that once.
Do lesbians have high T levels?
I don't know.
That is a binary
think so.
lens on human sexuality. That is completely...
No, I don't think that that's the case, because even trans men have to take hormones.
Right.
You know,
trans women for that matter.
Same, yes. So, I don't know.
I just remember reading that as an article once.
Well, like for guys, like you could be a gay guy with a lot of testosterone or a gay guy with like less testosterone. I don't know if it like necessarily makes you less gay, but in a woman it'd be different. Like maybe there is something to the hormones that make you more prone to being gay. I don't know. Who knows? But do you think it's all biology then, or like do you think some of it is like choice?
So a therapist once told me once upon a time that women who have had abandonment around infancy are more likely to become lesbians.
Who
It was a therapist who was also a lesbian.
Okay.
My mom tried to kill me, and now she lives in a mental institution.
See, because that makes some sense, but then I think there's both. I think there's people that like are like born that way, like their brain's kind of wired that way from birth, and then I think there's people that like maybe they just like it's like nature versus nurture thing.
I'm sure I
Maybe
always
they
would have
just
been a
should.
lesbian.
Right, even if that didn't happen, there'd be
but
some other.
My life just would have been a lot different if that hadn't have happened.
You would have been like a rich lesbian.
No, I would have been a much more poor lesbian.
Oh crap!
Because my
This is terrible.
because then I went to live with my grandparents who were rich.
Oh, work it.
Yeah.
It's a great story, actually.
Right?
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Oh, lesbians.
Anyway,
So what was your topic, Joey?
Harry Potter.
what do you have to say about Harry Potter?
I thought that, there's some really great child actors in that franchise, I have to say. But I never really engaged with it. I just didn't care. I did not care.
I
agree.
I read the first 4 books when I was like I was in junior high when they were like coming out.
Mm-hmm.
When I got to the 4th one, the gap between the 4th and 5th one was kind of long because the books started getting kind of longer for a little while, and like I just never really like I watched the movies and they're good, but by the time they were coming out, I didn't really care, and I don't think I've seen all of them. But I like it. I do like it though. That's the thing.
When I was in 4th grade, the 4th grade teacher at the Catholic school I went to, she was like
Satan.
No, she was like, It was actually after they decided that it's not satanic.
Okay.
And because there was a time in the Catholic Church where it was like, don't read those, it's about witchcraft.
Yeah, they were really didn't know how to like handle it for a while.
But in 4th grade, my 4th grade teacher, every year she would read a Harry Potter book to the class, like chapter by chapter throughout different like lunch breaks or whatever. And then at like semester, we would have a Harry Potter day where we make candles and we do like fun things. Well, she was like, what Harry Potter book are we going to read, guys? Which book should we read? And I hadn't read a single one. I was like, the first one. And like, she was like, oh, we're going to read the 6th one. And it was like, what the heck? Like, how am I supposed to care about this? She was reading
straight
the
into
6th
year
book.
6. That would be rough. To get in. Yeah.
And it's like we had the option to read our own book or listen to her read the 6th Harry Potter book. And it didn't matter. Like, you can do either one. And most of us were like, we're going to like do our own thing, read our own book. And she got so ticked that halfway through the book, she stopped reading it and canceled Harry Potter Day.
Oh.
So
Damn.
I don't fuck with Harry Potter.
Dude, we had a thing at our school called Accelerated Reader. And you'd
we
get
had
like,
that.
yeah. So like the Harry Potter books were all worth a lot of points for that.
Yeah.
So people would like cheat to pass the test, you know, so they could go on like the class trip at the like going bowling or whatever it was for having a certain amount of points.
Okay.
So yeah, like I just remember those books were worth a lot of points.
We had to get a certain amount of AR points. Like we just had to. That was just part of the curriculum. And it was based on your reading level. And me and one other girl in class, we were in 7th grade. We had a reading level that was, so it was based on grade level. So if your reading level was 7, you had a 7th grade reading level. Well, our reading level was 13. So me and just this one other girl, our reading level was 13. And you had to read books. You could only get points from books that were your reading level or higher. There were no level 13 books in our library because that's not a reading level. It's just like higher than senior in high school, which is an adult human.
So did they make an exception then, or what?
They were like, you can read the 12 reading level. Nobody else was a 12. Everybody else was like 8, 9, whatever. So we were like, fine. And like there were 2 books in the library that were reading level 12. Gulliver's Travels and Pride and Prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to read Gulliver's Travels, so I tried to check out Pride and Prejudice from the Catholic school library as a little 7th grade boy.
Mm-hmm.
And the librarian, Libby Alberding, if you're listening to this, she was like, that's a book for girls, and you cannot get it.
What? She wouldn't let you check it
wouldn't
out.
Let me check it out.
Beautiful
messed
book.
up.
She wouldn't let me check it out.
It's by
So
Jane Eyre, isn't
That's
it?
American literature.
It's by Jane Austen. Yeah.
Jane Austen, I'm sorry.
So I think
How
it's
is it for
English.
girls? I'm not that familiar. I've heard the name of it. I've never read it, or
Yeah,
I don't
was
know
it
much about it.
Promising Young Women, that's from Jane Eyre?
I'm not sure. I think Jane Eyre is a book.
No, it's an author. I thought it was an author.
I'm sure.
Shit.
I don't know.
Anyways, go
But
on,
yeah,
sorry.
it's about just this girl who's like, she, doesn't want to get with this guy because of her pride and his prejudice or whatever. It's dumb. It's about like it's like Edwardian England or something. It's a bad book. So is Gulliver's freaking Travels, starring Jack Black. So I ended up reading Gulliver's Travels. It sucked, and I didn't finish reading it. I looked up the synopsis and I took the AR test.
Right.
But
Cliff Notes.
she would not allow me to read it. Yeah, in this world. And then my brother, many years later, told that exact same story as if he remembered it happening to him. And I was like, no, that happened to me. He was like, oh yeah, that did happen to you.
Nice. Well, what do you guys think? You want to...
So I didn't have that same experience with specifically Harry Potter. I had to read like the Twilight series, and like I just remember like my teacher reading that book, and then like all my classmates and I were just making fun of it as it was going, because like the sparkly vampire thing was outrageous, and like we're like, is this a book for kids? What's going on? Like, why is this gentleman trying to rape this lady and stuff like that?
He wasn't trying to rape her.
It felt imposing.
No, he wanted to eat her, but he loved her, so he didn't want to be near her.
Why am I reading this in middle school? Anyways, so I just remember being like, I'm pretty dyslexic. And so like trying to read, I truly am, believe it or not. I have ADD and I'm dyslexic. So I just remember trying to read it. What's this?
This is terrible news.
Is it not obvious?
That's a really hard way to go through school.
Yeah, tell me about it. Shout out to Dan Brown. Because of the Dan Brown books, I was able to actually advance in my reading level. But the point is like I just
Shout
remember
out Clifford the big red dog.
Stephanie.
I'm just
Way to
kidding.
belittle
I'm just fucking
my
with you.
advancements.
Branden hates people with dyslexia
Yeah,
and
like,
ADD.
give me a break. I'm just kidding. You're making me sad, so I'm trying to lighten the mood a little. Go ahead.
Fuck your sadness. Anyways, so I just remember like trying to read the Stephanie Meyer books, and like I would just be like, what is going on? What is the point of this? Like, why am I reading romance novels for teenagers? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like Harry Potter made more sense to me because like I was able to read the first book when I was like probably 12. And like the way that Harry Potter is written is the advancement in literary the advancement in literacy becomes more as as children develop. So like the first book is meant for first graders or third graders, I believe.
Or she just used to be like shittier at writing.
It could have been. I don't think that was the case because you can read like
as you grow.
And that's what I loved about the Harry Potter series.
It's very cool.
So someone like me in high school could read the whole thing by the
they
time.
were like fun to read. They were like interesting.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think that's part of it. They were written like a story and not as like thick as like some of the stuff they make you read in high school English class and stuff was pretty. Just, they'd have to have a whole class explaining what was happening in the book as you're reading it. You're like, I don't even know what I'm reading. Right? Like, we had to do some, like, Hamlet and stuff, like, excerpts from it, and we're like, nobody in the class really, like, gave a shit,
I was so dyslexic. Like, they'd give everybody in class Hamlet to read. They'd give me The Outsiders.
Aw.
You were like, Pony Boy!
Yeah.
Stay golden, Pony Boy.
Good book. I loved it. I don't know anything about Hamlet, though.
Wow, that's a bummer. Did you see Lion King?
I did.
You're caught up.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
And
Mufasa's killed in Hamlet?
Yeah, Mufasa gets killed before Hamlet.
Wait, Lion King is a precursor to Hamlet?
No, Lion King is a rip of Hamlet. I mean, it's not really a rip. It's like, it's based
an
on
homage.
Hamlet.
Oh,
I did not know that.
You guys.
I don't know. I didn't read Hamlet.
That's a big bummer. Yeah, it's Hamlet.
Wow.
He's saying the plot of it's very similar.
It's
Right.
exact. It's
Yeah.
the same plot.
He doesn't hold his dad's skull. He doesn't have hands.
In the elephant graveyard, doesn't Scar hold a lion's skull?
Does he?
That's like a visual gag to Hamlet.
He was never in the elephant graveyard.
Whatever. He holds a lion's skull. I've seen the pics.
Also, great soundtrack.
Did you not
from
see the movie?
Lion King? Awesome soundtrack.
Love that
Are
song.
you
Oh,
sure
yeah, it was
he
by
wasn't
Hans
in
Zimmer.
the elephant
And Elton
graveyard?
John.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Because Mufasa told Simba to never go there.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that's where Scar hung out all the time.
I don't know. It's not a very long movie. You're right. He does hold a skull, but it
Wow.
wasn't in the elephant graveyard.
Okay, sorry, Dr. Simba. Like, I'm sorry I didn't get your movie exactly right.
Do you know how many
It was based
times
on
I've watched this
Hamlet.
movie? I have a little son. I've watched it at least 30,000
That's
times.
the funny thing. Okay, you know how like so he's like at the age where you could put any animated movie on and he'd be okay with it. He's like happy to,
When
but
I
she'll
was-
keep repeating the same movies.
He
likes it.
He likes
keeps
it,
attention.
but I think it's you. But when he's older, he's going to request like the same movies, and then you're going to be like, "Oh fuck, I've already seen this one like a million times." He's
'Cause
going to be like, "Play The Lion King again."
You've trained him to have a fondness for a movie by playing it on repeat.
When
It's a good movie, though. I'll give you that.
When I was watching him that one time, I put on this really creepy Pinocchio movie. I didn't realize that it was going to be so disturbing.
Is it the remake of like the live action Pinocchio?
No, it was like kind of claymation, but it was just really creepy. Really creepy. But Dean was like kind of into it. But honestly, I was bored. And I was also like, maybe you shouldn't be seeing this. And so
Yeah.
I like just started playing music. And he liked the music better, but he definitely was like watching the movie.
Yeah, he'll watch, and sometimes he'll no matter what. After a while, sometimes he'll just start doing something else. Like if it's like Pokemon, he'll watch it for a while, and then he'll like start doing other stuff, and I'll just be sitting there watching Pokemon. I was doing the same thing with Naruto too, because I try to pick stuff that's like fun for me to watch. Also, like SpongeBob, he's into that too for the most part. But like the thing that really holds his attention is Sesame Street.
But why do you say Naruto like that if you in fact have seen it?
Naruto.
Thank you.
Why do you say it wrong?
Naruto.
You
He
say
just started,
Naruto.
He literally just started watching it like this year.
Yeah, like
2023.
like a month ago.
Oh,
How is
wow.
it supposed to be
And I-
said?
Naruto. I was into
Didn't
Naruto
I say
as a
that?
kid,
Naruto. Oh,
Like,
Naruto.
Naruto. Naruto. That's how they all say. They're all like whining.
Isn't that what I said? Naruto. No, I'm
You
saying
keep
like
saying
Naruto.
it wrong.
Your emphasis is on the
Naruto.
ooh.
Naruto.
Naruto. Naruto.
Naruto.
Naruto.
Naruto.
Naruto.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Naruto.
There's all these anime
It's actually
nerds cringing.
fascinating.
Who's your favorite character?
I mean,
Better not be Sasuke or
I
Naruto.
was just gonna say like
Sasuke is pretty dope.
No, he sucks.
Tekashi 6ix9ine is actually my favorite.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I
I like Lee.
like Lee.
Lee's pretty cool, but then also, okay, what's the guy's name with the picture of sand?
That
guy's-
Gara
That
with
guy's
the gourd.
Yeah, the gourd
Yeah.
of sand. That guy's kind of awesome.
How
in
far
a
did
way,
you? Is
even
that
though
how far you got?
that's about how
Streaming
far I'm
exams?
at. Yeah,
That's the best part of the show.
it's pretty
it really?
sweet.
Yeah, I like Anko, who is like the woman who's running the Forest of Death simulation, and she has the snake jutsu, and she's like Orochimaru's old protege. She's like a complicated backstory. She's
The
just
one
got
who put the curse on Sasuke.
Orochimaru put the curse on Sasuke.
Yeah.
She's trying to like stop Orochimaru.
Oh,
and
okay.
she's like, this is gonna end both of our lives. That moment.
Oh,
remember?
but she actually kills herself.
She's so
only.
aloof
But
to
she
the
didn't.
fact that
But she lived. They like survived her. They saved her somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
She's awesome, and I like some later characters that are you guys haven't seen yet.
And would you say? Okay, I'm gonna say this wrong too, but Shippuden.
Shippuden is better than
That's what
part
everyone
one.
says, and I still I've missed a few episodes here and there, like, and she keeps putting it on and falling asleep. So then when next time I watch it, it's like you're on episode, like, you know what I mean? I got to go back and
The
listen.
great thing about Shippuden is like, so the part one score is really redundant. You keep hearing those same scores that like.
I love that. I was telling
I
do love it.
that I do too.
Yeah.
But I've seen. Have you seen those memes where they do that, but like purposely play? It's like a recorder really badly for that part. It's so
No.
funny, and it's
Yeah.
like some guy like doing a Naruto run in real life. You know?
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
it is like shitty kind of score, but it's kind of fun.
I like it though. Yeah.
And it's less like watching part one is kind of like watching a PowerPoint presentation of like different images like that are just in Ken Burns effect.
It kind of and they did the battles. Even they'll like stop the battle and then go back to like their whole entire backstory,
Yeah, well,
which
and
is
that's
kind of common for an anime, I guess.
Yeah,
Of course.
I feel like
And
that's
I
a very
like it.
Dragon
I
Ball
actually-
Z type.
But they make it like interesting though. So
that's
I'm
probably
on board.
why you like Lee though, because most of his content is like fluid fight choreography, which is very fabulously drawn. Versus anytime you see Sakura, she's just like freeze frame pointing and yelling, like, which I don't really like Sakura, but
Sakura's so whiny. I don't know. I'm not into Sakura so much. I don't see the point. First off, what pisses me off is that like she's such the damsel in distress.
In the
character.
beginning, I think
Yeah.
she comes into her own later, right? She
That's
has
right.
to.
Well, I
Basically,
mean, we're on season 2. So.
Yeah, we're like really early.
you guys are
still.
going to be introduced to the greatest character in the show. You haven't met Jiraiya yet, right?
No.
There are 3 characters called the Sannin. They're the legendary ninja, and they're the greatest ninja of all time. And they each mentor one of Team 7. So Jiraiya mentors Naruto. Tsunade is a woman, and she was the daughter of the first Hokage, the granddaughter of the first Hokage. She mentors Sakura. And then Orochimaru ends up, spoiler alert, do you guys care?
No, you're
Wait,
okay.
no, I do care.
Forget it.
I was,
Orochimaru and Sasuke
Well, I
might
saw-
not have a relationship later. Let's, but
I saw the. So is that the guy that like?
he's the snake guy.
But
Okay.
Jiraiya's the spiky
what's the
white
part-
hair guy.
Naruto.
He
What's their master's name again? Like
Kakashi.
Takashi. So like
Kakashi.
Kakashi.
It means
She
keeps saying
scarecrow.
Takashi.
It means scarecrow.
So like he Kakashi
Mm-hmm.
puts Naruto with that other guy, and he doesn't want to be trained by him.
Jiraiya.
Yeah,
The
is
black
that
guy with the long white hair.
so? Yeah, is that?
That's
not-
one of the
That's
Sannin.
one of the ones you're
He
talking
is
about, right?
one of the-
That's the
he's-
only one I've been introduced to so far.
The 3 Sannin are the best characters in the show. They're just written better. They can't help it because they're based on legendary Japanese folk characters named Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade. So it is what it is. They're just the
Sick.
best. Stacey,
How you doing, Stacy? How you holding up over there?
I have not understood
We'll
anything
cut
you guys
this.
have been talking
We'll
You
about.
should
cut
just
this.
watch Naruto on Netflix.
Why would I?
Why would you not?
Why do I need to?
Why do you like? I mean, why do you watch anything? Because it's
I'm not-
entertaining.
I don't know. I'm not really
You
into
don't have
anime
to.
unless it's
I
like
get
a
that.
group, people are.
What's
Unless
your
it's-
favorite?
unless it's
What's your
hentai.
favorite anime? Yeah, unless it's hentai.
Before we go any further, I would like to talk about time, and time is limited.
You want a hard rap?
Unfortunately,
Lauper,
we live
Time
in a
After
linear
Time.
space.
Love Cyndi
so
Lauper.
At some point, we need to
Okay.
wrap it up.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Joey.
we can
Let me
end it.
circle
No,
back.
that was
I
I'm
really
responsible.
enjoyed this, and I would like to continue this at some point. But at this moment,
This episode's called Hard Cut. We're scrapping it all. I'll be back tomorrow. We're gonna redo this. Hey, is there Wrigley tomorrow?
no, it's next Tuesday.
Okay.
But yes, that's a good point.
Sorry, we got to end the episode. Thanks everyone for listening.
Wait,
Wait.
is there any recaps? Anything
just-
that we'd like to talk about before we end?
I hope we find a way to segue out of everything. Hi guys, if you're listening to this, Branden couldn't find a better way to end the podcast, and this is Joey here telling you we're about to do a little bit of housekeeping before we sign out here. Kay Banks is hosting an open mic at Wrigley Bar and Grill in Fort Wayne, Indiana, every single Tuesday night
Fuck yeah.
at 7 p.m.
Yes, sign-ups at 7.
Sign-ups at 7. Show starts at 8. Right?
Yes, 7:30.
Show starts at 7:30, I guess. But don't come till late, because that's when I'll be up there and just having a good time. And Stacey Stark, I don't think this is going to be out in time, but she's going to be in Holly Jolly Kwanzaa, produced by Cryptic Initials over at Wondercomer on Friday the 13th at 8 p.m., I'm assuming.
Is that like this coming Friday or the next one?
Friday the
next Friday.
13th is next. Yeah.
I'm also
Next
going to be
Friday.
so sorry.
Go ahead, Kay.
I was just going to say I'm also going to MC at Summit January 11th, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool, good for you.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
But continue about your situation, which is even more fascinating.
You're not in the Holly Jolly Kwanzaa?
No, I was snubbed.
That's fucked up.
I wasn't snubbed, but they're going to be hurting without me.
Did you decline?
No, they didn't ask me.
So you were snubbed.
I guess in a way. You think they're hurting for me, huh?
I mean, I just wish that I could have done the last show that you were in, but I was
know.
sick, so that sucks.
I missed you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You guys, if I had an HGTV show, would you guys watch it? I feel like I'd
Yeah.
be
What's
good
it
at
about?
I don't care what it's about.
I
I'll
would
watch
be.
it.
I would want to go to places that are like ugly ish and people are like, I like that it's ugly, but like it's just not like that functional, and I'm like, I love that it's ugly. Like I love that there's a waterfall here.
Are you
in the
talking about my
middle of your
home
house.
right now?
No, like houses that are like, this is the Flintstones house. We're in the Flintstones house right now. Like I love that kind of thing. Like I'd want it to be very strange, but like here's what we could do, because I have a natural sense of feng shui. I can't help it because it drives me crazy. But that would be the show.
That you would like be hosting. You'd be like doing the tours, kind of.
I would be like fixing it. Basically, I'd be like,
Oh.
we're gonna change this
To
We're
make
gonna
it better.
bring out the natural.
Well, the people have to have so they're going to have something that they think's wrong with their house to be on the show in the first place. They're like, can someone like make my house not suck as much? Or,
Yeah,
like, what's
this house doesn't make, or it's like the outside is so cool because it is literally it's like a mine. It's a working mine.
Yeah.
But the inside, like, it's just don't make no sense.
Sure.
And be like, yeah, we need more natural light, so we're just gonna put mirrors everywhere like they did in the Egyptian pyramids.
Wow.
It's gonna reflect more natural light in here.
Right.
That's awesome.
That would be the show.
It's a great solution.
Joey, you have anything you want to plug?
Just my HGTV show coming out in 2032.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward to that.
It'd be good.
Hopefully,
Dude, I
it'll be
love
sooner than
HGTV.
Me too.
I'm scared of watching it these days because
Why?
I would probably alter my entire home.
Yeah, it makes your skin start to itch. You're
that.
like,
You don't
I gotta
have
do
the
it.
money to do that.
I don't. You're absolutely right about that.
Come sponsor us on the Patreon page that we don't have set up yet. It's going to be great. Just go ahead and give us money to help us with our decorating.
That'll be exciting.
I really do actually want to do those movie rewatches though with Joey for a Patreon.
We could do that,
love
or even
that.
We can
for
watch
just.
Naruto or Naruto. And
Can we watch the Princess Diaries?
Naruto.
I'm not interested in watching Naruto. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Well, you could watch like an episode. It's
There's
only like
Naruto
20 minutes.
movies. There's
Okay, if we do
Naruto
there
movies.
are-
like one episode, I'm not gonna do an entire. I'm not gonna commit
Well,
to
no,
an
it's a
entire
lot.
anime series.
It's a lot.
It's like one of. It's just so long.
It is like, and then there's like two. It's like there's Shippuden, and then there's the regular one.
And the original Pokemon.
There's like 8 movies.
We've got a lot to watch together.
We'll watch
Pokemon
Princess
has
Diaries.
a ton. Pokemon's
Princess
like
Diaries.
I would love to watch the Pokemon movies because I love them. Did you guys watch the Celebi movie ever?
Oh no, I didn't see
Guys,
that one.
I feel like I was probably the perfect age for the movies.
Yeah, I
maybe
watched
is
the
what
first
it is.
two and then I grew out of it, to be honest.
Because I saw the Mewtwo one. Like I
So
remember
good.
on VHS we had it or something.
Yeah, we had it
Watched it.
too. It was Pokemon 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
So good.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, sorry, Stacey. Stacey hates the country of Japan.
No, I don't. I don't. It's just that I like
Sorry
I
to our
like
Japanese
anime.
audience.
like I'll watch anime. I enjoy it while I watch it, but afterwards I don't remember it at all.
I'm bad with the
That's
names at
interesting.
first, but they're starting to. Like I know, I mean, there's only certain animes that I've seen a ton of.
Yeah.
Like I have a brother who's super into One Piece, and then like I've seen all of Death Note. That was pretty
I
cool.
That's one of the great.
I've seen a lot
Ghost
of
in the
Dragon Ball
Shell is
Z
one of my
and a lot
favorite
of
shows.
like Dragon Ball Super and stuff. Those are awesome. The original Dragon Ball. What else? Bleach. I saw like the first 300 episodes of Bleach.
That show was too scary for me when I was a kid. It used
Bleach
to
is kind of
play
violent. I
at
mean, it's
night
like
on Cartoon Network.
yeah, they have to show it at night because it's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of blood. It's pretty
It's like
crazy.
it's Bleach or George Lopez tonight, you guys. I'm watching George.
But yeah, if there's any anime fans out there, sorry for mispronouncing everything.
Crystal Spalding, we do apologize because we know she's probably an avid Naruto watcher, and that she's very, very disappointed in what she heard tonight.
We'll have to have her on the podcast sometime so she
That
can
would be
defend
so
herself. She'd
good.
be like, yeah, that
Brandon,
Joey guy. I don't know.
What if I'm Crystal Spalding?
Oh,
you
you've
could
just
be.
been
We have no
commenting.
idea who she is.
Gosh.
You
Well,
could
no,
be.
Kristen knows who she is.
I've never met her.
So she's what? She comes. Doesn't she do stand up?
Her husband does stand up.
Who's her
Her
husband?
does stand up?
Yeah, she didn't share this with you guys.
I don't know.
No.
We'll talk about this off pod.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Brandon, is there anything you want to plug?
I'm gonna dox Crystal Spalding's husband.
No, we don't have to dox him. But if he does stand up in Fort Wayne, then he'd be.
Okay.
Okay.
You could have
Yeah.
said that into the mic.
Yeah, he's brand
That
new.
wasn't
She
like-
said.
Here, I'll do her
An
voice. He's
insult.
brand new. He's brand new.
Just give
that was
st-
Kristen.
Just
Edit
give
cut and
him
paste.
a moment. Let him breathe. Let him play around with it first before we put him on air.
Have
okay?
you
Calm
met
it
them?
down. No. But I we'll talk about it off the pod.
Okay.
Brandon, is there anything you want to plug?
I feel like you were lying.
I feel like you're lying too. I was
Oh
just,
my
that's all-
God. I have to go to bed at some point.
Okay.
Is there anything I want to plug? Nah.
All right.
I mean, I have. Okay, I guess like if you want to check out Equip Music on Instagram, and I'm on like YouTube, TikTok also Equip, and it's spelled EQWIP, and it's just me like doing different musical stuff, making videos, being silly. And
he has
then
funny sketches.
I'm playing at the Ruin on the 8th. That should be cool around 8 o'clock.
Of January.
Yeah,
This
like
better
coming
be
up.
on time.
Yeah. It's not just me. That's going to be with a band of people from the PFW Music School. We're getting together and putting something together, so that should be fun. And I don't know. I guess that's pretty much does it for me.
All right, everybody. This was Where's My Hat? First episode of the new year. How exciting. Everybody, a round of applause.
Yay.
Exciting. We've made it, guys. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful night. Bye. And or day.